episode is brought to you by Bevel,
the first and only shaving system for men with coarse, curly hair and sensitive skin.
Not just the men, the women too.
That's right, because you got your Bevel package.
Yeah, and if your box is kind of nappy, don't worry. He'll still make you happy. I'm going to try it and give you guys some feedback next week.
And no bumps.
No bumps, no bruises, nothing but smooth cruises.
That's right.
Go to getbevel.com and enter the code PETE. That's Pete, and get 20% off your purchase.
That's right. That's getbevel. That's GETBEVEL.com. Use code Pete to get 20% off your first month. Internets.
Shave smarter.
That's correct.
Al.
This episode is also brought to you by the College of Hip Hop. It's an app, Miss Lissa.
An app for what?
Let me tell you something. This app was created by AJ and SJ Jackson, okay? Young entrepreneurs that saw a void in the arts and entertainment industry.
Right.
Their goal is to make the arts and entertainment industry simple for everyone interested. So if you're a manager, if you're an artist, anybody in the industry, this College of Hip Hop is a one-of-a-kind. It's a resource guide with links to all information discussed in lessons. Listen to me.
Elevate your brand.
It's a must-have. It's a free app for anyone and everyone who knows somebody looking to learn business in the entertainment industry. The College of Hip Hop. Go download that app today. Support them. They fuck with the Premium Pete Show, and they're providing something that's not out there.
Money, Al.
Cheer. Now let's get to the show.
Come on, everybody get set, let's go. It's the next episode. It's the Premium Pete Show. News, interviews, all of the info. Listen up, it's the Premium Pete Show. If you want the scoop in the low, down low, listen to the show, cause Milk said so. Fuck what you heard, better act like you know. Miss Lissa knows. It's the Premium Pete Show.
I came here with my dick in my hand. Don't make me leave it with my foot in your ass, be cool. Angie, and don't worry about how I'm cooking this shit. When I'm flipping what I'm kicking, nigga, this just what I do. I'm off the vest and off the crescent ass on a full-grown German Shepherd motherfucker keep stepping. They don't fuck with me, and they don't. Y'all can't catch me, and they won't. Pay your fare, fix your hair, throw that there. Got product for my new nappers and dollars for my noopers. You think I'm tricking, bitch? I ain't tripping. I'm buying if you got nice purrs for your iceberg. Hoping this indecent pose will do something to you. Hoping there's something done. Fuck $1, girl, pick a 50.
You sound too cute.
Hey, fuck a cow, girl, you need a real
It don't sound
nigga.
Menacing.
Off the top, nigga, box hurt
There we
and
go.
shit.
There we
and
go.
bend over, ho. Show me what you were. Oh, she want me to do it. You right, do a little harder.
Shake
doing
your
it real
ass.
cute.
Y'all got a joint jump in, notice you said it's karaoke.
Yeah, but I never jump in. I'm just
Listen,
an
I don't know
app.
if I know the lyrics like that. I know a couple here and there.
Because it's mystical, right? He's
Right.
like the hip-hop.
I know the hook.
Right. We was about to get there, and you was about to hit it for us.
You gotta think about it.
He's like our James Brown. I always say that.
Hip hop's
Like,
James Brown?
Yeah.
I like that.
I love him. And like, you keep bumping me against the wall.
You ever met him?
No. Can you hook that up just like, so I could just rap with him?
What do you mean hook that up? Miss Go,
No.
I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you.
Hey, Mr. Cow, I want you to meet me right now. He's like, hey, how you doing?
Well, you met him, Ange?
Of course you
Yeah, I interviewed him before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he exactly as how his songs are?
I don't know if anybody could exactly be like that.
About DMX
He's
is.
very. Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. When we interviewed DMX, I left and I went back to Brooklyn for a meeting and came back to the city, and he was still outside the studio in the street eating
Talking
a hot dog.
motherfuckers. Oh, what I'm
Was
saying.
he like ciphering?
No, he was eating hot dogs from the street vendor.
Yo, he's too hot water
And
Frank.
his manager was like, "That's enough hot dogs."
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's like, dog, I just need one more. Let me get one more.
Now that was classic when you think about it, especially the prayer, the way he did the prayer.
Yes.
And even just him standing up. But, you know, very few people I ever see stand up during interviews. I remember Dallas Penn used to do that when we just started the show back in years ago. He used to stand up the whole time and just like, well, he was on the other side, pause, like doing interviews.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't the interviewee, you know?
Standing up during interviews is actually kind of a good feeling sometimes.
I think that's when your energy just too high and you can't like keep it at this level.
Yeah, I seen people trying to do it at work. I remember I went to Complex like a year ago, and shout out to the dude Noah over there. He was standing up, and I'm like, what the fuck are you standing up? It's like this new study where people work standing, like the keyboard was above. You ever seen that or heard of that?
No.
Yeah, standing up working instead of just sitting
No.
down.
I know if you stand up while you eat, they say it makes you eat less or something.
And it's supposed to be better, like, if you're singing, you're not supposed to sit down because, like, it's better for your air when you stand up.
You should also have a baby standing up, by the way.
What? No. Like
No,
a
for
squat,
real.
a squat.
Yeah, squat.
A squat. You making it seem like you're just dropping it, keep walking.
That's the
I'm
case.
standing here, the baby slid out.
Right.
You better have somebody on the underneath grabbing it. But anyway, internets, listen, welcome back to another episode of the Premium Pete Show with Miss Listen Knows. As you could hear or see or the title, we're sitting here with how can I even put the titles to you? I'm going to put, you know what, I'm not going to even go titles. I'm just going to say the Blasian finest, the finest Blasian. Well, I don't want Kim to get mad at me if I say that.
Media
That's my
maven
sister.
and boss sitting with us, you know, everyone's favorite, Angela Yee. Interclaps.
Could have been a designer name. Honestly, I feel like Angela Yee, the name, I could have seen it on a shirt. You know,
some people think that's like not my real name. Whenever people book flights and stuff, they'd be like, "Okay, we need your real name and information." I'm like, "That's my real name. You think I just made up?"
Or they thought it was a handle. They thought it was.
Kind of does
What kind
feel
of
like
exciting
a rapper.
name is that?
No, but when you think about it, you know, it's funny because it's like there's a lot of Blasians, you know, that I know, you know, like the mixture is so beautiful. Like, you know, you could see both sides. But I never really see, or I mean, I don't, you know, hang out with you enough to see that, but you embracing your Asian side.
Well, I think, no, I do all the time because I feel like, first of all, in my family, my dad is Chinese,
Yes.
right? And that side of my family, my mom is the only child. And my dad has like 8 brothers and sisters. So we do a lot more with that side of the family because my mom, you know, it's just her. And then with my dad, like we do everything. Like
You mean for the holidays and stuff like that?
Yeah, we do Chinese New Year. We do all of that. I get my red envelopes. I don't play with
Oh,
those.
okay, get the red envelope.
Yeah,
Now,
you know we gotta get those.
You know how to make fried rice?
I do know how to make
What?
fried rice.
What kind of fried rice?
Chicken.
Okay.
I don't
okay.
eat pork, which is a very
That's good.
non-Asian thing. And I don't eat seafood either.
Wait, you don't eat seafood?
No, I don't eat seafood. I don't eat pork.
So what
Are
do
you
you?
allergic?
I don't eat red meat. I just don't like it.
What? I need a lobster
Wait.
tail, some crab legs. Like,
I gotta find out because
I'm a cheap date.
You
Yeah.
are good. No, you have to
I'm a
OD.
cheap date.
You gotta get all the courses
There's
now.
no
You
lobster,
gotta get
no salmon.
Nah,
no
you gotta get that cheesecake at the end.
when I think about this shit,
bottle.
honestly,
Finest.
when I think about when you say like you don't eat seafood, you don't eat steak, right? Everybody eats different things, but when you think about it, like if me and Lissa right now we celebrated a victory of something, you know, say we came into $1 million,
Okay.
and we say, hey, we want to celebrate it right off the bat. I mean, I'm gonna say let's go get some lobsters and steaks.
Right.
We get some champagne. It's funny that you say that you don't eat seafood, you don't eat steaks, and you definitely had some victories to
I
celebrate.
celebrate.
You say you don't eat steak?
What do
No,
you?
I don't eat red meat either.
What do you celebrate? Like, what foods do you celebrate with? Like, you ever go out and say, I'm going to go eat this and celebrate?
Oh, I'm going to tell you something, and this is real. Like, seafood restaurants and steakhouses, they have the best chicken. Because don't nobody order that. It'd be fresh and
Got
just
it.
well made. It's so good. If you go to Mastro's, their chicken is delicious. You go to Del Frisco's, all of those places,
Yeah.
you get chicken anywhere. So that's it. I just don't like when you go places that are like super fancy and you have to get like duck confit or something that I like don't want to eat. That's
Yeah.
nasty. Just have some regular herb roasted chicken or
I
something.
don't like duck.
Yeah, me neither.
You
I don't
got to
like
be in the
that
mood to eat
texture.
duck. You drink enough bottles of wine, you fucking
I
eat
like
duck.
duck at certain places if it's like when they do the little duck sliders where you make the sandwiches
I
and
never
stuff.
got to that. I'm always scared.
Yeah,
Have
no,
you
I
ever
can
had
eat those.
frog legs?
No.
Okay.
You know, I'm not the most experimental eater. I'm not going to lie.
Mm.
Like, if I don't like the way something looks, I don't like the way it smells. I saw something on TV. I'm not going to eat it. I don't try any. I don't like broccoli, which people think is weird. I don't eat tomatoes. I'm so picky. Like, when I get food, I get everything like on the side. Can I get this on the side? I want my dressing on the side. I don't like to mix. Now, people think this is weird too. Like, if I eat eggs and pancakes, I don't like the syrup to touch my eggs.
What? I
I'm like-
needed to.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
like-
Queen McGriddle. Like when I used to like
I'm
McDonald's,
crazy.
I love when the syrup. Like I'm fat like that though. Like when I have Christmas ham,
She said
I
I'm
love
fat
when
like
the
that.
ham hit the mac and cheese. Like I'm like,
I don't like.
when
I don't
that-
like my food to
You
touch.
can't touch.
You know, I used to be a terror to my little brother. I feel bad now that I think about it. When he growing up, he didn't want anything to touch.
Yeah, I don't like my
and
food touching.
I felt like one night out of the week, I had to terrorize him. So I called it touching night. You know, pause because
really
it sounds a little
crazy.
crazy. But when
Hey, it's touching.
yeah, when we were about to
here.
eat, I was like, yo, your broccoli is going into your mac and cheese, and your chicken is going into your broccoli. Well, yo, everything is touching. And he would go
That would drive me
crazy.
crazy. And like, I don't like ketchup on my fries. It's got to be on the side. I have to dip it. I'm a dipper.
That I agree with.
Like, if I have a turkey burger, I have to dip the turkey burger into the ketchup.
And a little bit of honey mustard.
Right. I like honey mustard.
I like honey mustard.
Hey, now.
You fuck with Chick-fil-A?
I do. It's not, people go like so Chick-fil-A crazy. I think it's because we didn't really have it
Most
here
definitely.
before.
Most definitely.
And that's what the big hype was about. Like, I was just in Detroit over the weekend, and they have a Chick-fil-A in the airport. So when I landed, I was like, I guess I got to get Chick-fil-A. It's right here. I got to walk past it. And I saw Currency when I landed.
Okay.
And so I was online. I was like the next person online. And I was like, oh, this Currency. Hey, how you doing? Kept it moving. Then he tweeted, man, I should have asked for Skipsies online and got Chick-fil-A. But I think it's just because we have them now, but we didn't really have them like that. So it was kind of like, wow, we got to get Chick-fil-A.
Because they're the closest thing to real chicken, other than like the Popeyes tenders.
Is that really the...
No, I think it's fresher.
That sounded like a real... other than the Popeyes.
She had the nutrition facts out
But
there.
I think it's also the sauces, like the Polynesian.
Yo, the sauces are
Chick-fil-A
crack.
sauce.
Yo, let me tell you something. First of all, one thing I like about Chick-fil-A is, to me, it seems to me that it's more healthier. Like the chicken I'm eating is more fresher,
Right.
And then on top of that, like the sauces are just crazy to me, man.
And the people are pleasant that work there. They're like
They getting
very
paid well.
pleasant.
And they're off on Sundays. Yo, let me tell you something, man. Think about it. Even though sometimes I'd be mad, I'm like, damn, man, how they fucking close on Sundays? But
the
think about it.
nerve.
What business? You got to give a lot of credit to these dudes. What business would close on Sunday? People who own shit ain't there. They don't give a fuck. They may say, like, let them work. I'm out there. Make sure people are working. Right? It's crazy when
That's
you
a
really
big
think
money
about
day.
Yeah, exactly. It's the weekend, right? But it's crazy because you got to think about it. Most people, I mean, the people who own Chick-fil-A, they're not going to be there. So it's not going to hurt them if you know what I'm saying?
But then look at other places like the mall in Jersey and Paramus. Everything in Paramus is like closed on Sundays. You can't go anywhere there. Or like a store like B&H Photo, the huge B&H Photo. They have the most random. I don't even know when they're not open. Like,
well,
Saturday.
is it owned by Jewish people?
Yeah.
Well, I think on Saturday they're not allowed to do anything.
Sabbath.
Right.
Yo, my brother-in-law was telling me, keep in mind this is how pure and the rules and religions that they believe in. He works for Comcast. They can't even sign anything. They can't do nothing.
Right.
So he was trying to fix his modem and his cable, and he's like, I just need you to sign this. And he's like, I can't sign nothing. He's like, well, I can't do I can't put this together for you.
Well, I'll see
But
you
that's
tomorrow.
I mean, even, I give a lot of respect to people, not because of their religion that they believe in, but how they follow it. I feel like I'm a person that, I don't always follow everything to the
You
fullest.
don't have the willpower.
Exactly. I don't have the willpower. I'll be like,
I agree with that. I don't have the willpower.
I'll be like, look, I'll sign it. You know
how I know? Because I got a salad from downstairs before I came up here, right? And they asked you, like, do you want some bread or anything with that? And I'm like, okay, I do. But I know if you give it to me, I'm going to eat it. That's just how I am. Like, the way that I am, if I have certain foods in my house, I love dessert. If there's chocolate chip cookies, if it's in my house, I'm going to definitely eat it. I cannot stop myself.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm the
doesn't
same
matter.
way. I'm weak. That's my problem right now. And I've been struggling with my weight. And it's funny that you said that because I just been like really stressed out about that because I am so weak, especially in the late night hours. Like
Right.
I'm finding snacks that I didn't even know I had. Like I'm waking up with like cheesecake box next to me.
who
I'm
bought
like,
this cheesecake?
who the fuck went to Junior's? Like what the fuck? Like I have like powers? Like how did this happen? Like the Cheesecake Fairy and the rest of the band just walked and then came back with cheesecake and my ass woke up like, nah.
I just love dessert.
sad.
And you know what else is my problem too? Drinking, right? Now, here's my thing. If I go to the airport, because I'm always like in the airport somewhere, and I sit at the bar, I feel obligated to order a drink.
Sure.
Because I feel like, man, I'm wasting space here.
Sure, I
I've
agree.
got to order a
you
drink.
Gotta, you got to pay for. You rent your space. You're paying for your space. But it's funny because we'll pause, but we'll bounce all over the place. Being somebody that works in radio, morning show particularly, got to be up early in the morning. But I always feel like you're always out. I know that you sleep. I mean, we know each other for years now. But
Right.
what I'm saying is, I know that you always say like sometimes you do go home. You spoke before to me about napping and stuff like that. But I feel like you're out a lot.
I feel like I used to be out a lot more than I am now because I try to like curb it now. But I'm gonna tell you this: I feel like every time I go out, it's very beneficial to me, and I always feel like I should go out more. Like most of the time when I go out because I'm hosting something, or I have to do this, or I'm supporting somebody, and it's not very often that I'm like, oh, let me just go to this random event just because. So I feel like when I do that, I run into people that I don't see all the time, and they're like, oh, I have this great opportunity for you, and then the next day they hit you. It's so good to see you last night. I was thinking about you for this, and that. And I feel like a lot of times, like even the way I started doing radio was because I was out.
Sure, networking.
Yeah, I started working for Eminem's clothing line. I was at the Chappelle Show premiere, and Paul Rosenberg was sitting right behind me. And he was like, oh, we were just talking about you. We're starting a clothing line. You should come work there.
Wait, when was this?
This was right before Eminem started Shady Limited, right?
Okay.
You know, so this was maybe about, how long ago was that? I don't know, 13, 14 years ago. So I ran into him at the premiere, and if I wouldn't have been there, it probably never would have happened.
Right.
What made you go there? You get invited, or you just bought tickets?
Well, I was with Jizza. He was on the first episode ever. He was
that's right. Yep.
So, they invited us to the premiere, and we went. And so he was sitting right behind us. So I was like, okay. The next day I hit him up like, hey, let's talk about the clothing thing. He was like, okay, cool. And then somebody called me from the distribution. And next thing you know, I have a job.
That's so dope.
Yeah. But things like that always happen to me just from me, like, going out. And I always tell people it's important. Like, I tell Paris, who works with me, I'm like, even if I'm not with you, you should still go out to
Sure,
certain
most definitely.
things. Because you run into people, they're like, oh, I just ran into her. And you're at the top of their mind when something comes up. Like, oh, you know what? I didn't know, Miss Listen, she would be great for this. Let's get her to do this. I just remember I heard her on the podcast. I see her on Twitter, and now I ran into her. I was out. She was so nice and pleasant. I would love to work with her.
Yeah,
that's why I always say God is my publicist, because that's exactly how I feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's watching over you.
Fate and where you go, and like saying like you're so right.
And being in the right place at the right time.
Always got gems.
Yeah, she does. But you know what? It's funny because I feel like morning show is almost like when you're young and you're working, and then you go to a club and you stay out all night, and then you don't ever go to sleep, and you go right to work. Because I remember like Envy would be sleeping in the studio. Yes. He would tell me back in the time.
Envy used to stink.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really? Stinky motherfucker. Wash yourself, Envy.
But yeah, no, you're right. We did. When we first started, I'm going to tell you, like, when we first started the Breakfast Club, all three of us were like, okay, we got to go out all the time. We got to let people know there's a new morning show in New York, because honestly, like, it takes a long time for people to even know that that's happening.
Sure.
So we were trying to go out to a lot of different things, and it was very exhausting at one point, because we would all, go out. Then we would go to like the coffee shop for breakfast at 5:30, at 5 in the morning, and then go straight to work and get on the air. At one point, we were at work, and Charlamagne passed out on the ground.
Really?
I'm not even lying, right? He
EMS came
out,
in that motherfucker?
Laying on the ground like Mariah Carey passing out from dehydration. And
he had a glitter moment.
He really had to go to the hospital. And he was really out of work for like 3 days.
How close are you guys? Like, as I know, like in the beginning, like even me and Pete, like we have to like build our bond. So like now that it's all these years later, how close are you now? Do you still talk as much, or is it kind of like...
we're on group chat all the time, like every day. They already texted me like a few times, like Envy's having some birthday party. He put us in the group chat like, hey, you guys come to this. We both were like, no.
What is it, 6 years?
Yeah, it's been 6 years.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so I feel like at first it was us like really doing a lot of things together, and we travel all the time. Like we have the iHeart Festival coming up, so we're all like traveling out there. We're kind of like forced to always be together, but it's not bad. We have fun.
Right.
So
are two of you kind of like Kelly and Beyonce, and one is like Michelle, or is it kind of like,
I think it's just,
y'all all close?
I think it's different. Like it'll be like sometimes Envy and Charlamagne talk about sports and different things a lot that I don't really like. Care as much about as they do. And then me and Envy are doing like the juice bar together, and we're working on that together.
That's dope.
And then me and Charlamagne might gang up on Envy. So it's kind of like it goes,
you got to be it's having fun and being the butt of the joke.
Right.
I just can't believe that it's been 6 years. You think about it. And then also how many markets you're in. I know even in Houston, on the weekends, like I remember I was traveling. I forgot where the fuck I was. I was riding maybe to Baltimore or whatever it was. And in the morning, I was like, "How the fuck are they on here? What the fuck is going on?"
Yeah, it's like 65 markets.
That's crazy when you think about it. But for people who don't know, even people who are in radio, or just for me who wants to understand, you sign up to be a morning show host. You know, you host Power 105, but then when you start getting into other markets, how does that even benefit you? Like, because you get more money for that, right? Yeah.
You get more money for each market that you're in. I mean, it's great exposure, and then that's just great for them to want to bring you there to do things. So, like this weekend, you know, on Friday, I'm going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then on Saturday, I'm in Boston. You know, so those are 2 markets that we're in. So it helps that way, but we do get more money for every market.
What is G-Spin spinning?
No, he's not. It's some type of art show, so definitely not G-Spin.
Man, shout out to G-Spin, but fuck the Patriots. But, you know, it's funny because when you think about that, like, I took it when Big Boy was here in Hot 97. I took that as like a diss to us.
Right.
I don't like particularly morning shows that when you live in a place and there's other people. Like I remember Big Boy was like it's 87 degrees, nice and sunny. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? It's cold as a motherfucker here.
You know, they have local people in those markets that can do like certain local things because obviously they're not going to have the same weather, you know, that we do.
Traffic issues.
But I'll say this, like I think a lot of people knew us just from the internet and from watching like our interviews online, and people would listen. Once you start having the apps and everybody listening, like using the iHeartRadio app anyway.
Yeah.
And so people are in Virginia listening, they're in, you know, Vegas listening, they're in all different places listening. Then it's kind of like, okay, they already were familiar with us. So I think it's hard to do that in New York in particular, like to bring a show from outside. But people do it all the time. Steve Harvey does it.
Sure.
You know, so I think with us being so global, having these apps and everything, it just brings everybody kind of closer together. So it makes stuff not as local anymore. But I think it is important to have certain things that are local. Like if something really big happens in another market and we're like, okay, we need to just do some local stuff for this particular region, we'll still do that.
Yeah. No, and I agree. And mainly, I guess the biggest thing, you know, with having a morning show and then having, you know, the weekends, I think you still do the weekends with Breakfast Club?
Yeah, weekend show too.
When do you guys tape those?
Once a week, every Wednesday.
Okay.
But that's why I like to travel to different places that we're in all the time, because that way I go to New Orleans a lot. I go to Detroit a lot. So that way when we're talking about certain things, I could be like, oh yeah, like I really know because I really go there and I'm familiar with the restaurants. I'm familiar with like a lot of different areas. I'm familiar with the mall, the clubs, everything. So it kind of feels like, okay, well, she comes here.
Right. At least she is.
You know, I was in Orlando for the
familiar.
weekend. Like I really will still go and try to like make sure.
And one thing I do love about you is that you are very approachable. Like, you never feel, like, uppity or snooty. Like, it doesn't matter where you go. So because of that, you can kind of, like, transition anywhere. Because even though you're from New York, you feel like everybody's homegirl. Right. Like, you don't feel, you know, like, you just feel good. So.
Yeah, I remember you tried to test me when we had that whole situation when I had Mano and Uncle Murder on, and you was like, girl, I can't believe you booked. I was like, no, I booked that before. I
did ask you about that. Yo, and that's why I was also saying that about you, too. You are so level-headed, because you're talking about what happened with you and K. Michelle, and then I thought you were being, like, strategic, because the very next day, you had Mano and Uncle Murder there to
on lip service?
Co-sign on lip service that her box was smelling like cheddar and fish juice. And I was like, Angela, and she is so dope, too, because she doesn't even have to say anything. Like, she was just like a queen. Like, he just came in, dirty work was done. Because when What's-Her-Name was there, you didn't even, like, get out of character.
Yeah. I mean, I just think I'm never going to get out of character.
Yeah.
I think you lose if you let somebody, like, get you so mad that you start yelling and screaming and arguing. That's just, I'm never doing that.
Do you count down from a number?
Because the only time I could feel like that is if it's somebody that, like, I really care about. If that's, like, my man, that's the only time I'm ever going to get into an argument.
Right.
If that's my man, my family member, and it's really something passionate and I care. Like, to me, I could shut it down and be like, I don't really care.
Yeah, but it's not like you broke the story that her box was stinking and somebody said... No, I'm saying it's not like you broke the story. Somebody said it and you... Did you bring it up? I don't even know. I mean, I remember her going crazy, but I don't remember even how it happened.
No, what happened was Mano and Uncle Murder were on the show promoting their mixtape. 2 days before that, Uncle Murder had posted, they had a song about it. You know, he had posted it, and I had asked him, I was like, yo, why do you keep doing that to her? Like, you know, and then I said, aside from her, not even her, but I was like, if you sleep with a woman and you say her box stinks, then doesn't that make you kind of nasty?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what I was asking.
Right.
Like, taking it outside of, you know.
And making it about him and the kind of person that he is.
And so, and really, like, Charlemagne and Envy started talking about it. Everybody went somewhere else with it. But it's just, I think, because I'm a female, you know, whatever, and it's easy to get. I think a lot of times women have issues issues with other women, period. Like, it's okay when guys do things. And it happens all the time on The Breakfast Club. Like, Charlamagne and Envy could say something. If I say the same exact thing, it's the problem.
I think they're more intimidated by, especially a Charlamagne, because, once his gun goes off, it's like a machine.
Yeah, they don't want those problems.
Right. But you're a little more modest, so it's like, even though you may have a jab, because you are good as, like, little, like, you got to catch it. So it's like, I'd rather take on Angela than the machine gun that is Charlamagne. Or, if you go after Envy, Charlamagne's going to, And
But
they kind of
like
to see you in, like, a squirming position, too, because they could have easily... But Charlamagne was kind of, like, egging her on a little bit. Like,
because they think it's funny.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
At the end of the day, like, we all leave there and be like, that was funny.
Yeah,
like,
it's jokes.
We don't really care that much because no matter what, our show is going to go on. And so all that means is that's one less guest that's never going to be on the show again. But it doesn't really mean anything. And I think, like, as an artist... I wouldn't do that to myself on a show that's on in 65 markets. Like, why would you do that?
I think it's funny, too, because I remember seeing that, and I remember her saying, like, and you're cool with the label. So I guess she was looking for a pass, of you not to say nothing.
I'm cool with every label.
No,
like, that's what I'm saying. That's the whole thing to me. It's like, okay, I'm cool with the label, but I'm cool with everybody from Interscope. I'm cool with everybody
You're never
from
going to make
Def Jam.
anybody
I'm
happy.
cool
You
with-
never,
yeah,
you never, let me tell you something, especially for some reason, I don't know why, maybe from a guy's perspective, I feel like girls hate on other girls more than guys hate on other guys.
Yeah, they do.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, guys actually help each other way more than girls will.
Or guys can actually insult each other and not get offended, I feel
Right.
like
even-
y'all can talk shit about each other and not be so offended. Like, somebody could be like, man, peek
Look
out
at
here
his
with your
sneakers
little
and-
dick.
yeah.
And he'll be like,
The remote control.
and it's not a big deal.
I guess. You know what I want to go over?
Exactly, Ange.
When did you guys think of starting the videos? Because it's funny because I applaud you guys for that because it's almost like people think of you as a podcast now.
Right.
As a video podcast. I don't know if you ever heard people say that.
Yeah.
Meaning like, and because that wasn't always done like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's people who don't listen to The Breakfast Club but are
they know the
religiously on the videos because the videos, it's done well, it's positioned well, and great content.
Well, when I first started at Power 105 on The Breakfast Club, one of the main things that I said, and I think we all agreed on it, was we need to have like a video person dedicated to us because that's what helped me out a lot. Like me being on Sirius, I had never did radio before when I did that. The reason why people knew who I was because I would have an intern and the video was like terrible. But I would have an intern come up and like film us on lip service. It would be like all grainy. I would Ustream it sometimes.
I remember that. Who was on lip service? I don't want to go.
It was
off
me
topic.
and Leah. First, it was Leah that was
still
the
cool with
music
Leah?
editor at XXL. Then it was Leah that owns Married to the Mob.
Yeah, she does a podcast now. I think.
I swapped out Leah's.
Yeah, I'm about to say you just keep it like the devil wears Prada. Like,
You still cool with her? You still cool with her?
Oh yeah, I just saw Leah at the Buscemi store opening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I was just with her. I love Leah. She just actually tweeted that it was a highlight to see me.
her.
Yeah.
Because I was like, which Leah? Okay, got
So
you.
she got Married to the Mob.
Leah
You know what?
done went to the other side. How you feel about that?
I'm happy for her. Listen, I told her, and if you look, like she tweeted me, and she was like, it was so nice to see Angela. She congratulated me on
I
my
did see that.
podcast because I always felt like Leah was really great at that. Like I wanted her to be more of a part of lip service. I brought her on a few times, even as like a guest host.
Right.
But she's doing a lot of things, and I know she always really wanted to do that.
Who does she have a podcast with?
She has a podcast with somebody from the other station, and that's why I'm just asking because
That's
I know
her and Laura Stiles.
I know that she can't talk to you though.
Well, what?
Oh, I don't know what she.
They cannot allow
That's a bunch of bullshit.
No,
Hold
that's
on,
not
hold on.
bullshit.
Hold on, I wanna go- This is
DJ
like-
Envy said because he used to work at the other station. He said that you would, when you're a jet all the way. You can't talk to no other station.
I kind of feel like things have changed there though since then a little bit because that was back when like Ebro was the program director, and I think he kind of put that mentality.
He's still there though.
Do you have
But he's not the program director anymore.
But he's still ruling with that Jewish fist.
Do you have a relationship with him?
I mean, listen, he tried to hire me at Hot 97 before, but no, not anymore now. Because I feel this is how I look at it, and it's like no hard feelings. I don't talk shit about people.
No, doubt. I'm just
gonna tell
talking
you
facts.
with it. Yeah, I don't really talk like it is what it is. I do my job. I'm not worried and concerned about anybody else. I just feel like they talk so much shit about all of us, about me, Envy, Charlamagne. Me, probably not as much as everybody else, but you still have, and I can't. In my right mind, see you and be like, hey, how you doing? Because it just doesn't feel right to me.
Right.
You go on Twitter, you talk about us all the time, and it's just
But that's particularly Rosenberg.
He does it too, and I ran into him the other day too, and he was.
And
like,
what do they say when they see you? How do you handle? Because I'm a kind of like, what the fuck did you say?
He
Like,
actually apologized.
really?
Yeah, but I was.
You need a public apology if you're going to be apologizing. You can't talk shit in public and apologize in private. That's the worst shit.
I told him, I said, listen, the way I look at it is this. We're not going to be cool because you're going to say this to me and then all you're going to do is go on the radio and do the same thing that you always do over and over again. I said, I don't have any problems with you, but we're just not friends. And my whole thing is I never was really friends. Like, those weren't like my homies with any of them. You know what, Minya? Me and her were really cool for a long time.
Oh, Miss Info, yeah.
Yeah, Miss Info. Never had a problem with her. Like, even when she was working there, she still was congratulations
Super
when I got
cool.
the
She's
job.
super cool. Miss Info is super
everything,
cool.
because we know each other. Like, we've hung out.
Right.
You know, even like Angie Martinez was always still really cool with me. I didn't know her that well, but she always was like really still nice. I had to go to Cypher's wedding when he was working at Hot and I was doing Power. And that was awkward for me because I went by myself. You know,
how'd you not bring somebody?
I didn't even bring it because I got off the plane because I was coming from out of town and went straight to the
I
wedding.
would have picked somebody at the airport. And
You know what? I introduced him to his
she
wife,
really
so I know her. I know her family. I know like her friends. So I felt like when I got there, I'm gonna know people.
Right.
It's just not gonna be anybody else there to But what are they gonna do? Beat me up?
Did they say anything or were they avoiding you?
It's interesting because I don't really have a radio background, like I didn't come from FM radio. I don't know a lot of people. So there were a lot of people that worked at the station that I had never met before, but everybody was like staring at me. And I kept looking around like, who is this person staring at me? And then later on, I would be like, oh, that's such and such. Like when I would put it together later.
Sure, you understand.
Right. But I mean, it was an awkward situation, but the way, like I said, everything just kind of, rolls off my back.
I think when they talk about you, particularly Hot 97, it's because you guys are the other big buildings, big bosses in town, and if you guys weren't causing any type of talk, then you wouldn't matter.
But we don't look at it like that because this is how I look at it. We're like a syndicated morning show. It's not just in one place. So I don't look at it like we're competing against you guys because it's like a much bigger picture for us. You know what I'm saying?
I get
she's
that.
She's pretty much saying she's iller than all your morning shows in every city, so she don't have no time to be worried about your one
city.
Like,
I swear to you, I don't know what goes on. Like, I don't know what they do. I've never heard. I have no idea.
You better talk that talk,
I don't.
Angela.
And just to think about it, and just to think,
that talk.
You could have been on the fucking Hot 97. If you made that one... No, think about it.
But he didn't want her to talk, and she wanted to talk.
They did tell me, when he asked me, he was like... I said, well, am I going to be like...
When was this? Bring people back. When was this?
This is when Cypher first started doing the morning show.
Okay, so they reached out to you.
Right. So it was really Cypher wanted me to come, too. Because, me and Cypher are still to this day, like, that's my boy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So he wanted me to come there. So he had Ebro call me. And I was thinking at the time, this was when they were on before Big Boy was on.
Okay.
And so they had like a show before Big Boy show. And so I'm thinking, okay, maybe I could do both because I grinded out like that. I was like, maybe I could do this morning show and then go do the morning show at Sirius.
You're such a Capricorn.
Yeah, because, I work hard. I'll be like, maybe I could do all 10 things and then do lip service at night. So I was really thinking I could do both. So when I got there, he was like, no, you would have to stay after, do certain things. I was like, okay, well, would I be equal on the show? And he was like, no. I was like, would my name be on there? No. I was like, well, I have my own show at Sirius. That's mine. Like Angela Yee, The Morning After. It's my show.
Right.
Why would I go on a show where I get it? It's a huge station. It was a big deal. They don't know, it's not an easy place to get into. How many people get offered a job? At Hot 97. And so I was like, took me some time to really figure out because the name alone is like, wow, that's a huge deal. But I don't have a radio background. So it's not like I grew up like one day.
Yeah, that wasn't like your like...
To me, I'm a practical person.
And Sirius, I mean, do they pay well? They don't pay. I mean, as far as I know, I heard that
they don't pay well, but they was paying more than Hot offered me.
Okay,
and
so
she was getting a better platform where she was the
my
actual
show.
focus.
So this decision was actually easy to make.
It was, but it wasn't because you know how you second guess yourself.
Sure,
like,
whatever. I do that with
like,
everything.
Well, maybe I could do it, and then I could walk into something bigger because then I start doing this, and then maybe later on I'll end up getting my own show. But you don't know. That's maybe this, maybe that, and I just. I didn't feel comfortable with it. And Sirius wanted me to stay so bad. Like, I told them I need to get another raise. I need this.
Let's bring people back. How did you even get on Sirius? How did you even get to, because I know you said that you never came from no background.
Right.
Your first radio job, speaking would be on Sirius, right?
Yes.
How did that even happen?
Well, that was through Eminem again. Like,
okay,
after
so when
the
you
whole clothing
okay.
line thing happened, I was like, okay, I want to do marketing, but I want to, because I've been doing marketing for a long time, and I saw there was a job opening at Sirius. I just randomly was like, honestly, like I broke up with my boyfriend, and I was like, I'm gonna change my whole life. You know how I'm a very positive
Did you cut your hair? Did you cut your hair?
I didn't cut my hair.
Oh, when a girl cuts her hair,
she's not cutting her hair unless she's
cut my hair.
disrespect her family.
When a girl cuts her hair, you know that changes are in effect.
But I was like, I'm going to do something different. Like, sometimes you got to shake it up. But I want to make, how you be like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to shit on him. Like, you get a new job.
You, yes.
Change my life.
Wait,
no fair.
was he an industry head?
No.
Okay.
He worked at Verizon, okay?
Oh, so you definitely was already shitting on him, girl. I'm going to transfer to AT&T. Fuck this nigga.
Telephone lover. You sound so good on the line.
So I was like, all right, let me try. So I just was at home. I was like, let me look at jobs. I had got these books like Yahoo Hot Jobs that they sent me or whatever. So I was like reading about like finding a job. I researched everything.
Capricorn.
Right. So I was like, okay, let me see. And then I saw Sirius was hiring. And that's when Eminem actually was just launching his station like that month.
Shade 45.
So yeah, Shade 45. So I hit up Paul and I was like, hey, they're hiring in the marketing department at Sirius. I was like, if you could just get me an interview, I don't need you to get me the job, but just be like, hey, could y'all interview Angela? She worked for me. It would be great. I said, I don't need you to get me the job. I just want to at least get an interview. And I'll take it from there. He was like, well, they're looking for a female on the morning show, a co-host. He was like, would you want to try for that? And I was like, okay. He was like, you got to talk, though. I was like, okay, I can do it. I was like, I'll try. He said, and it's not guaranteed. It's going to be like an audition. I know they've been trying out a few people, so you could go in there and see what happens.
Whenever people say stuff like that, it always makes me more nervous. You know what I mean? Like, it always makes me, like, I feel like they do that, like, even like when, whatever you do, like, I've went for like little acting stuff like before, and they were like, we are seeing 4,000 people, but, come on in. And
yeah,
like,
they definitely
right.
told me that. But, I feel like this. I never did radio before. I was very honest about it. I did feel like I had a little edge because obviously Paul was going to be in my corner.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so I felt like, okay, I know I have a little bit of an edge.
So who did you go see?
And you have a good voice.
Well, no, some people hated my voice. I'm going to be honest. Like, I hate my voice listening to it sometimes.
Do you listen back to your, all your, work?
I used to.
Okay.
Listen, I think I had my first show at home somewhere. It is awful. Like terrible. But a lot of things happened in that first couple of weeks that I was there. So it was a probationary period, and it was uncomfortable right away because first of all, I had to meet with the VP of programming. He was like, "So, you have any experience in radio?" I was like, "No." That never feels good. But then
what they make you do? Did they make you do
No. They were like, "Okay, well, come in tomorrow and just be here and that's it." No one gave me any instructions. I didn't know what was happening. I come in there the next day. Cypher Sound's like, who is this girl? Like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm going to be, on the air. I didn't know anything.
Did you do any research?
I read the paper. I didn't know what to do.
Right.
I was so nervous. And then I was so nervous, my hands were shaking, the whole time.
I still have that.
Yeah, I was.
Not here, but in life, when I'm doing, I'd be like.
I was super nervous, and I was trying to do they were like, okay, get some news stories. I didn't know no one was helping me. I was like, all right. It's kind of like they set me up.
Right.
So I think they kind of didn't want me there because it was Paul who suggested it, and they wanted to just be like, fuck her,
Right.
So I'm trying to do these stories, but it sounds like I'm reading everything because I kind of am. Because I okay, and I wrote everything out that I was going to say, and it sounded so stupid. And so they were like, okay. And then after the show, they critiqued me. People were calling in she fucking sucks. Who is this girl? She's horrible. I was horrible. I mean, the truth is, if you never did radio before, people think you just get up here and talk.
That's true.
It's not what it is.
It's not easy.
It's
a process.
It's not easy. Once you get it, it's easier. But it's never the first couple of times you do it, it's not easy. So I would listen to it. It sounded so bad. I would be like, you know how something sounds so bad, you're hiding your face from yourself?
Is that me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck.
I was in the car oh my God, I sound so
Stop, shut it off,
stupid.
shut it off.
And I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want anybody to listen to it. I didn't want anybody to know that I was doing it because I wanted to get better first before I told anyone. So I was like, I'm not telling anybody. And then I remember somebody hit me up. It might have been Stat Quo because he was on shady at the time. His manager was like, "Is that you on Shade 45?" I was like, "No." And so I'll tell you what ended up happening was we did this interview with Jay-Z, and I was still like on probation, but we had to come in at night to do it. This is when Jay-Z became president of Def Jam.
Okay.
And he had Memphis Bleek with him, and he had Chris from the Young Guns.
Young Chris. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had Young Chris with him. So they make us come in. I'm going to the bathroom, and Jay-Z's coming out of the men's bathroom. He's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm about to interview you." He's like, "Better not fuck this up." And I was like, "Oh, shit." And then he walks in, and Beyonce's with him.
Oh, my God.
Shoot.
I was like, "Oh, my God, this is awful." But then Beyonce leaves and goes in the green room, so I felt a little more comfortable, right? So then we do the interview. And actually, the interview ended up being so good, Clinton Sparks put it on his mixtape.
Really?
And that's how I met Clinton Sparks, because he hit me and he was like, "Yo, this interview was so dope with Jay-Z," because it was just funny. Like, we were just joking around. And I was so nervous at first, but then I loosened up. And this was when, like, he didn't really talk about Beyonce. I was like, "So are you and Beyonce going to get married?" It was just like stupid stuff like that. And, you know, it was a funny interview. Like, he said he was going to throw his Motorola two-way pager at me. And it was, you know, if you ever have a chance, if you Google it and listen to it, it's pretty funny. And
why were you
in
not
retrospect,
intimidated to like ask certain questions? Like, what made you so comfortable?
Probably because I was intimidated to do it, but I was a little inexperienced. So I think sometimes you just like say anything.
Right.
So you jump out there.
So I was just asking anything. Like, I was talking about a rap battle that he had back in the day and how he used to dress. It was funny.
Right.
And so after that, we walked out and they were like, "Oh, you're hired." They were like, "You're hired." And that's how I got my job. So thank you, Jigga.
Al?
Jigga, man. So you were there. So you were there for years, and as you
6
were there,
years, I think.
Hot 97. You know, you turned that down. You could have went over there, but they weren't paying enough, and the opportunity wasn't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think we spoke about Breakfast Club, but how did that? I just want to make sure I'm not bugging out. How did someone reach out to you from Breakfast Club?
Yeah, so when I was at Sirius, G-Spin actually wanted me to come to Power, but he wanted me to just like do weekends.
For people who
fill-in
don't know,
shifts.
G-Spin is a program director at Power?
Mm-hmm. He's
Okay.
like an associate, no, he's a radio. I don't know what the hell his title is.
He's a
up
good
there.
dude.
Yeah,
He smokes
he's a
good.
great guy.
I don't
He's out of there.
like his sports teams.
I don't know what the hell.
He's a
his
good
title
father.
is. He's from Boston.
He's a good dude. Yeah, and I don't like that he's from Boston, but whatever. Shout out to G-Spin again.
But he wanted me to come there. He was like, you know, come do weekends, learn how to run the board, and then maybe you can do like fill-in shifts, fill in for people, just to get you in here because you never did FM radio before. I think he was thinking like we want to get her here at some point. So I was like, cool. And I'm thinking it's going to be fine because everybody at Sirius was doing, you know, FM radio. Like when Cypher was there, he was doing hot. When
Because Sirius was like a
Self
side
there.
hustle.
Yeah.
You know?
But they told me I couldn't do it.
Really?
So I had already like said I was going to do it, went and did training. And then I told Sirius, hey, I'm going to be doing part-time weekends, you know, at Power. And they were like, no, you can't. I was like, why? Everyone else here, like Envy was doing it. Everybody.
He's still doing it, no?
He still does it. And they told me no. And I was like, why can't I do it? And they were like, well, because they were here. They came here from there. And it was just, they used to hate on me so bad at
That's
Sirius.
crazy.
Do you think it's because, you know, because you're a woman?
I think it's that, and I think it's because I was the only female on Shade 45 when I was there, and I ended up doing lip service and getting a morning show, you know, when I first started. But I think it's that, and I think it's because they look at it like, oh, we made you who you are, kind of thing.
Really?
Like, you never did radio before. This is your first job in radio. But I worked really hard at it myself. Like, a lot of stuff we did, they never used to film interviews. And then I used to do it myself, and then they sent out a memo and said we couldn't do it anymore. And they said because we're giving away content for free. And I was like, but it's just the interviews. And, you know, people are subscribing because they see it and they
Right.
like it. It's like free marketing because, you know, I have a marketing background.
And we need to go back to that, but I want to
They
continue
probably
on
just
how they
wanted to hold
contact you.
back, like-
They just didn't want me to
I
do
also kind of feel like it's because Paul brought you in, so it was kind of like you were Memphis Bleak. You were always like up under the wing, so they wanted to make it harder for you.
But
So you have
that
to
might have
prove
been
yourself.
initially, I think they felt like that, but I never pulled that card. Like, I never missed work. I was always on time.
Right.
And I did really well. So at the end of the day, you can't be still saying that, you know, because there were people that he brought in that definitely took advantage of certain things and they
Right.
were gone. So I feel like, I don't know if it was that so much as
What do you mean take advantage? You mean just like dropping his name?
No, just like, oh, not working that hard.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you go somewhere and not work as hard?
just because you feel like I'm good, I'm with the boss.
And that's actually the you have to work harder when you get the job
You
because
do.
everybody else want that damn job.
Listen, when I started there, people didn't understand why I had that job. Like, even people that work there, and they'll tell me today, they were like, who did she fuck to get this job? Like, literally would say that. And, you know, it's just things that you have to deal with all the time.
How
so.
do you deal with that? Because, like, especially now in this day and age where more women are being celebrated for being overly sexual, like, how do you deal with not being or being pressed to be, or just, like, what have you dealt with?
I mean, I'm a regular chick at the end of the day. Like, we do lip service. Yeah. I do lip service.
Podcast with Gigi McGuire.
And Stephanie.
And Stephanie, my girl, Stephanie Santiago.
Your girl, yeah. And to me, lip service, and I started that as serious, was always important to me because the way I started it was it's supposed to be empowering for women. It's like, this is how I looked at it when I first started it. First of all, I used to have a segment called Slut It Out, right?
What the fuck is that? What do you mean
And
Slut It Out?
that was when I
Explain
was
to me.
serious.
Explain
It
to
was
me.
called Slut It Out. I had a mixtape and everything. And
Wait,
it
you was
like,
rapping?
No.
Oh.
I did like a mixtape, like with little segments from Slut It Out
Got
with
you.
music and everything with DJ Wonder in between, and they had it like write-ups in magazines for it. I think it was in like Ozone, The Fader, everything.
That's dope.
But I started it because there's a lot of females out here, like, we're just regular girls, but we have sex like anybody does, whether you're a receptionist, a doctor, a lawyer. So I would bring all these different women on and give them like code names, and they would talk about like sex. And it would be kind of for guys eavesdropping on what goes on, what women talk about, and for women to hear what other women are doing in the bedroom so they
Right.
don't feel weird about certain things or maybe learn. So that's how it started off, as a segment called Slut It Out. And so then they were like, it was so popular that they said to me, you know what, we want to give you your own show. Just kind of doing this, like this girl, female talking.
That's when you did lip service.
That's when I got lip service.
So you had the morning show and lip service.
Yeah.
Did you
that
get
was
to
at
pick who
night.
you wanted to be your co-host?
Did what?
Did you get to pick your co-host for lip
Yeah.
service?
And that's me and Leah. That's how me and Leah ended up doing it together. I liked Leah because she was really smart. She was a music editor at XXL, so she brought a lot to the table. She booked a lot of our guests. I didn't want it to be just like, you know, ditzy girls talking about sex. I wanted it to be like smart, intelligent,
Right.
regular women that we all can relate to, but we all have sex.
Right.
And we all talk about sex, and we all do crazy things. And listen, if you ever hear that Slut It Out mixtape, there's two girls on there, and they're my friends, and I learned a lot about them. One of them talked about how she met a guy on the highway, and he pulled her over, and she ended up having sex with him, and she's black. He was like a white Polish guy, and she said in the bedroom he would call her a slave, and
What?
and everything.
What the fuck?
And I was like, oh my God, what'd you do? She was like, I said, give me my money, massa. I was like,
That's that real role play.
That's crazy to me.
I don't remember when me and you were talking, but I remember you saying that that you obviously you met so many different people, and as you grow, there's certain girls you had to like get away from or remove yourself from because. You know, some girls move funny. Like, you be hanging out with a homegirl, but that's my homegirl, not knowing she's sucking 17 dicks in one night.
Listen, you can do whatever you want to do as long as, this is how I look at it, as long as you're not fucking nobody's husband, okay, or nobody's man. Like, if you're single and doing what you do and you're safe about it, I don't really care what you do. But if you're doing shit that I don't condone, like, you know, I had a female that was around me that used to intern for me, and she fucked my friend's husband.
Really?
And after that, I couldn't talk to her anymore.
What the
And that's
fuck?
why I don't care what you do.
What's her name? What's her number?
No.
But you couldn't talk to
I'm
the friend or the intern.
I couldn't talk to the. It was
Okay.
it. That was it for her. Like,
course.
done, finito. Like, we're never ever gonna be cool again. You fucked my friend's husband.
That's crazy.
Did she mess up their relationship?
Their relationship was already messed up. Clearly, if he would do that,
Right.
Exactly.
you know. But certain things like that, I don't believe in. But back to Slut It Out. Then I found out one of my friends lets her boyfriend pee in her mouth,
What?
and I thought that was so disgusting. But she was like, "Yeah, I let him pee in my mouth."
He got to drink mad water like for 2 days. Like, he can't. Like, what do you mean?
I peed. I see. You know, I
See,
peed
you
by
done it.
he
accident.
wasn't. He heard him,
No,
right?
no,
He
no,
did.
no.
He said,
I
I
peed
know
by
you did it.
accident. Like, you know, you realize honestly when a guy comes, this is turned into lip service now.
So you squirted.
When a guy comes, like if
squirted.
a girl would allow you the pleasures of coming in her mouth, right? And shout out to all the girls that do that because I know it's not easy for many to do that.
Right.
But the girls that do that, I remember one time what happened was when I'm about to come, I didn't realize some of it was pee.
I didn't know you could come and pee at the same
I
time.
didn't either. I feel like he's just
No,
different.
I'm being dead serious.
It's when you got that baby remote. Then
Nah,
different things
baby remote.
happen.
This is a good drill, man. Good
I don't know if that
screwdriver,
drill
man.
is that good.
But,
It might be a
How-
Phillips.
I would think that you couldn't pee when you're hard. Like
no,
that.
but sometimes I'll be honest with you, like like I'm always been like the girls I mess with over the years, I've always been like very like attentive to them. I'm that type of guy. Like I love being attentive to them, but at the same time, I feel bad for certain shit. Like when you start coming in a girl's mouth and they're like, and I'm like, damn, like just take a cup here, hold on, just spin the cup, forget about that shit, don't swallow.
Cup?
No, because listen, when you come. Oh wait, use the champs. You take the whole load.
I'm trying to figure out how much you have.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, like
first of all, you can never you never know how much of a load
nuts?
there is. Where did this go? I don't understand how we.
I'm just saying, that sounds like a lot.
right. It's like I'm looking.
Well, I mean, listen.
What do they call it? The money shot? You have a money shot every time.
Not a money shot. The money shot's a picture of a vagina to me, but but. I mean, let's be real. I mean, have you ever swallowed? I mean,
yes.
Okay.
Why
Sometimes
are you like you like a
no, I don't want to say that to her
Oh.
because I don't treat her like that. But I'm just no. But I'm being honest.
Yes,
You never
of course.
know. You never know what's like.
If
Sometimes
you're gonna
it's
suck a dick, I feel like you should be, like that person enough that you would swallow.
fuck.
I don't. Not all the
Internet,
time.
pay attention.
Sometimes you just gotta let it run out your mouth and make him like listen.
Well, that's just a different visual.
I don't want it. So
I don't want
I've
it.
had girls.
don't
I
want
have
it.
girls who swallowed the whole thing, and I had girls who swallowed and then ran out the room to the bathroom. You hit them like spitting up in the
What did you
in the
have?
sink.
Asparagus.
Asparagus is crazy. They give you that stinky thing. No, but I want to be real with you. If you don't have sex for say I don't have sex for a week and a half, just say
Or masturbate.
or masturbate. When I do come, it's like overload.
Right.
So if a girl
backed
swallows, that I guess that's the point I was trying to make.
Okay.
That it's like
She's a
humongous.
champ.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Do you
I don't
feel-
know how we ended up over
Do you
here.
feel guilty when you
because
masturbate?
Angela Yee did it to us.
I never feel guilty. When I was married, let me tell you something. When I was married to the first girl, my first marriage, I didn't get married again, but my first time I was married, this girl was a freak.
Mm-hmm.
We had sex all the time. I would still jerk off. I swear to God, we would fuck all day. The last time I fucked her, like at night, like say 9 o'clock, she's going to bed. I'm talking about crazy. Like fucking where like we would drop things on the bed, things would fall off the bed. We broke statues, picture
But
frames.
you still had to masturbate.
And afterwards, I would have to masturbate.
Why?
You know why? I'm gonna be honest with you. Me, not only because I'm horny, my mind races so much. Jerking
Calms
off
you
helps
down.
me go to sleep.
Okay.
Like either that or a Xanax. Like my mind's always racing. Like I'm thinking about this.
Can't
this.
give her that second round.
I gave her multiple rounds. But I'll be
You
honest
got
with
so
you.
upset.
It's all about the relationship between
I'm gonna be
you
honest
and
with
the
you.
hand.
From a guy's perspective, I'm gonna be honest with you. When you're with a girl for a long time, like I did, like my ex, I did at that time. Obviously, I loved her. I cared about her. I thought she was hot, sexy. But I'll be honest with you. How much could you fuck a girl that you got to think of something else? I had
but
to
you
go.
masturbate with yourself all the time?
I had to masturbate and think about her sister
What?
or her cousin
Sheesh.
or the girl I used to mess with before that. Why not?
Her
No, I'm being real. I'm being real.
Why?
Because I had to think of something different. You already have that. Listen, I'll be honest with you.
But her sister?
Show me a girl that's hot as fuck. I'll show you a guy that's tired of fucking
Yeah,
her.
but then I can
Right.
show you magazines of bitches that are not her sister.
Yeah, and I'll come in them
you
and,
can, like, look
they'll
at
be
that.
stuck
You
close.
thinking about her sister? That's
Her sister
not-
was hot.
So why did you marry her?
I married her because
You wasn't
sister was hot.
happy.
no. I had a kid with her.
Bridesmaid number
I had a
two.
kid with her. I married her. We had a great relationship, but that doesn't take away from my sister being hot.
Okay.
And I felt like jerking off was my private time to imagine,
Right.
these
Without
things.
cheating.
Yeah, without
It's not
cheating.
Do you want to get married, Angela?
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's hard for Capricorns.
Yeah, I think I
You guys are
would.
so focused.
Most hard for people.
I don't feel like marriage is absolutely necessary. I could be with somebody like forever and not get married. I'm not like, to me, I know this sucks because I'm so practical. I would rather spend money like buying a house than having a wedding.
Well, I tweeted this first of all, it's so funny you say that. I tweeted this before, and I think I spoke about this on the podcast before. People worry too much about getting married and forget about being in love.
Right.
And what it takes to work. People have $75,000, $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 weddings and then go rent an apartment.
Right, that
Why not
makes
have a
sense to me.
$10,000 fucking wedding and fucking get a $60,000 on a down payment on a house and own
I'll
something?
get me some sponsors though. We're gonna have a wedding. We're gonna have an after
Sure,
party.
Hennessy.
We're gonna have a flyaway.
Hennessy gonna sponsor that. You get a vacation, a spa.
All I gotta do is post 2 posts on Instagram from the
Get a Vera Wang or something fly for your wedding gown.
My lady
Yes.
now, me and her go through this all the time. And because I took so long to marry her, she gets mad at me sometimes. She's like, I don't want to get married no more. And I'm like, look.
She's lying.
No, she is lying.
She's a Leo. She's lying.
She's a Virgo. She's August 2nd.
Leo,
okay.
testing you.
But here's the thing. I will get married to her. But like you said, trust me, I've been with her. What changes? When you get married...
Well, I'm going to tell you why Charlamagne said he got married, because his daughter was like, why don't you and mommy have the same last name?
See?
Yes, I could picture it. I see that. And that could be a problem for...
You have a cute little baby, and it's nice to have a family, and everybody has the same last name.
And it's kind of like
they can go to school and be like, my parents are married.
Yeah. That's how the white people do it.
Well, I'm not your typical white person.
We know.
No, but you know, I do. It's the problem is people. Here's the thing. People get married and think everything changes, Angela.
Right.
Nothing changes.
Well,
if you're with somebody,
are you with somebody?
Are you with somebody?
Yes.
Okay, so you're with somebody, right? You get married. Do you think everything? How long have you been with him?
2 years.
Okay.
And she lit up a little bit when you said it. Like she trying to be like, she was like, yes.
Is this another? Was this a Comcast guy this time?
No.
What?
It's not an industry. Well, she was with Verizon before.
Oh yeah, got you. Good one.
But we'll
But
get
if
back
I
to
was going to do cable, it would be Cablevision, so it could benefit me because I have
sure.
Cablevision at home.
Cable guy. but no, I just think that, you know, when you're with somebody and y'all love each other and y'all build together and care for each other, when you get married, that's just a piece of paper certifying.
I'm going to tell you what the problem is that people live together and do all of these things like they are married before they get married.
Right.
I call my lady my wife.
And that's why it doesn't feel any different.
Right.
I call my lady my wife to other people.
I think that's really what it is. You know, they had did this study, and it says that people who live together before they get married have a higher rate of divorce than people who don't move in together till they get married.
See?
And they said that's because you don't have the mentality. You have the mentality that if this doesn't work out, I could just leave, just like you did when you just used to live together, and that's why. And I do feel like sometimes people act like they're married and they're not, and that probably affects.
That's
Are
like
y'all living together? After
No.
the 2 years? See, so she's doing it.
Right.
Traditionally.
And so I think things would be really different.
Yeah, but then when let me tell you something. If you want to be with somebody, you have to live with them because you don't know how they are once you live with them. They may be some nasty motherfuckers. You know, when you come, keep
you
in mind.
should know enough though. You could spend a week.
But keep
with
in mind
them.
when you come,
spend 2 weeks there, you go to their house, they come to your house.
Yeah, but that's all good. Let me tell you
it's
something.
more honorable that way because at the end of the day, she's right. It becomes why buy the cow when you're getting the milk for free. Like you don't have to give everything, and you want to cherish your union. And I kind of like I don't care about marriage because I feel the same way as far as love first. However, after a certain amount of time, you should take that extra step because two things. God forbid something happens to that person. You want to be the first in command.
Right.
If you've been together that long, if you really care about that person that much, like I'm the one. Like after your mother is me, and now it's me. So I want to give me my ring because, like, I love you. And the same thing for the man. If you really love her, that's your one. You want everybody to know you're going to, like, it's not about the ring. It's about the union and saying, like, this before God is the one.
No, I know what you're saying.
And I'm not against people living together and not being married, but I'm saying I do feel like if I were to get married, yes, things would change because we don't live together. And I do feel like people act like they're married when they're not.
Right, they playing house.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I'm a victim. I'm a
look at
culprit.
you.
I'm
You
a
doing the
culprit
same
of that.
thing.
Because then you'll
culprit.
say if you got married, what's going to change? Because y'all already act married.
Hello.
Yeah, I
Ding,
need to get
ding,
married, but here's the
Angela
problem.
Yee.
Here's the problem. And I said this before. Financially, I'm not where I want to be.
No one's
and I
ever gonna
don't
be.
want to go. I got married before last time. I had a wedding, but I did it in the beginning. I did it in City Hall. I don't want to do that shit
Right,
again.
I feel you
I
on
want to
that.
do better. And don't get me wrong. I don't want to have this big extravagant wedding, but I do want to have
nice.
I want to have something to celebrate better. Because
But y'all in love. You could have told her to pack a white dress when you was on that cruise.
Vegas, went to
and
Vegas.
y'all could have did something lit on the boat.
I'm Millie.
Oh, you know what's always good if you
Yeah.
do like a destination wedding because that way
You were just
it's a lot smaller.
and then we call home like, "Hello, ma."
No,
Yeah.
no, you tell your family to come. It's a lot smaller though, so it's not like
But
you have
if
to
I
spend
call
as
my
much.
mother, I'm like, yeah, ma, I'm cooking the meatballs. Yeah, ma, listen, I got to tell you something. I got married. What?
No. I'm
No,
saying you
just
plan it in
invite them.
advance.
Okay.
You know, but I do feel like if you feel like this is who I want to be with forever and this is who I love, it probably would mean a lot to her to change her last name and to walk out and have that ring, you know, and be like, that's my husband. It feels different to say that's my boyfriend than it does to say that's my husband.
Or baby daddy.
Right. That's
Right.
my baby
daddy's
daddy.
the
We love
worst.
each
that
other.
Means that it's on the rocks.
Yeah, but well, you got to keep in
That's
mind.
my son's father.
Yeah.
And we love each other.
It starts getting super funny. It starts getting super funny when you do it. And keep in mind too, I know she wants to worry about the last name because my son is, he's mixed. Obviously, she's Trinidadian, I'm Italian. But, he's light-skinned and he's mixed, so she's like, I don't want anyone to think he's not my kid,
Right.
Especially if they don't have a different last name.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, but anyway, I don't know how the hell we got all the way here. I don't know. You know what? Let's take a break.
It's getting hot in here.
Yeah, it's getting hot. We'll take a break. Internet, you listen to the Premium Pete Show with Miss Listen Knows. We're sitting with Angela Yee, chopping up about everything from radio to sex to marriage. They pressing me. Listen, smoke a blunt, grab some ice cream, grab some chips. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere.
Ow.
Chit.
Yo, internets. The Premium Pete Show is now in your ear holes. Miss Listen Knows got on the jumper filled with love.
Aren't you tired of having razor bumps? Elevate your shaving, ladies. It's time to get Bevel. It's the first and only shaving system created for coarse, curly, natural hair. Yes, you, with the curly box. It's for us.
With the curly box. Listen, I'm telling you right now, dermatologist approved. It's proven to reduce razor bumps. Internets, listen, the first time I used Bevel, Miss Lissa, okay, that shit was so smooth. Man, that shit felt like almond milk on my fucking face. You understand?
That's right, and that's why 9 out of 10 Bevel customers return. It's all about coming back.
Shout out to Tristan Walker.
Ow.
Shout out to the whole Bevel family.
Shout out to Nas.
Shout out to Nas. What did he say about that?
He only needs one mic and one razor, and that's the Bevel system.
He said, my signature fade with the Bevel blade.
Oh, that what he said? He said that too.
That's right. Listen, so internets, listen. Get Bevel at GetBevel.com. Use code Pete for 20% off. Shave smarter. Get Bevel. Cheer.
Get that 20% off. Black hair matters.
Stop fucking around. Now back to the show. Internets, and we're back. I'll tell you, one thing that we didn't even go over yet, that I want to go over, is how you were managing people at one time.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like babysitting. No disrespect, but it's like almost it's a lot of work to do that.
It's like putting your life before mine.
Exactly. And you manage Jizza and Jay Electronica.
Yes.
Let's start with Jay Electronica. How did that even happen?
Well, I knew Jay Electronica for a while. Randomly, he did a photo shoot for Greedy Genius. He was the photographer.
Greedy Genius, my God.
Remember Greedy Genius?
Those are the most horrible sneakers ever.
Mikhail and Joseph I and everybody that was involved with that shoot.
So the colorways were crazy, Bo, if you think about it. But, I mean, okay.
It worked at that time, I think, So he was the photographer. And him and his boy Ringo, and so that's how I met him, and that's when he was living with Erica in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So when I was leaving, I was going back to Brooklyn, and I dropped them off, and that's how we got cool. And so Ringo would always hit me up and be like, "Hey, we got some music from Jay Electronica." I didn't even know he was an artist when I first met him, and so they sent me some music, and I was gonna put him on the segment I had, "Don't Quit Your Day Job," which was for unsigned artists.
On what, Sirius?
Yeah, when I was at Sirius. A lot of people did that segment, by the way. Drake was on it before he got signed.
Who?
Drake.
Really?
Yeah, you got to hear. That's online too if you Google it.
That's dope.
It's pretty funny. Who else was on it? Machine Gun Kelly.
Really?
Was on there before he got signed. When I met Machine Gun Kelly, he was like, I remember I was 16 years old and I was so excited. I did that segment and you were so nice to me. But people would call in and be like, oh, that was whack, or that was great, I loved it, or keep pushing.
Oh, you was doing the first feedback before the feedback was, okay, I got you.
Yeah, so it was cute. It was nice. It was something for unsigned artists from all over. But anyway, so that's how I met Jay Electronica. And then he said he left, and then he said he was moving back to Brooklyn. So he hit me, and he was like, I'm really going to do this music thing, and I'm trying to find management. So, and if you could help me also find an apartment. So I was like, cool. He found an apartment, and then he was trying to put together management. But then he was like, I want to put together a whole team of people. So it was me and 3 other people. Jay's very random. Mm-hmm. I never was like, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. He was just like, this is what I'm thinking is going to be my team. It's going to be you, this person, this person, this person. We're all going to meet. You're available on this day. So next thing I know, I'm part of Jay Electronica's management team. But
out of nowhere.
Yeah. I was like, all right, whatever. But I'm always down to help. I told him, whatever you need, I think you're very talented. If I can help you in any way. I have a full-time job. So, I'm going to be busy.
Sure, you had the opportunity to do it.
But yeah, I believed in him, and I felt like he could do some great things. So after a while, it ended up just being me left still.
The Capricorn.
Managing him. And I was actually setting up meetings for him with other people to potentially manage him. So we met with Chris Lighty, with Kevin Lyles, with it was a bunch of different people.
And were they impressed by him at the time?
No, they wanted to manage him. That's why we met. Like, they were coming to us like, hey, you know.
But he didn't want them?
I think he just never really locked in on anything. I think Jay is like very reluctant when it gets time to sign some papers. You know, I was just helping him out. But when it's like, okay, here's the paperwork, then it's like, oh, I don't, you know.
Is
it's a
that
big
what's holding
commitment.
him back?
Well, no, he has stuff signed. He has
No, but
a deal.
he's like really ill. I'm not even saying like he's, but I just feel like there's so many rappers, like certain artists that are just not getting their just due, and he's one of them.
Yeah, but he hasn't put anything
Like
out.
him, Fabulous, but that's what I'm saying. Like it's just certain rappers. There's like, what is hindering that?
Right.
Well,
It's
the times.
himself. He hinders himself, I think.
Yeah.
As far as, you know, having that material out there. I mean, he just did a song that's on Chance the Rapper's album. You know, he'll do things here and there, but he has music that's like done and ready to go.
I think if you're not talking about a situation that's like Wayne's, like where he feels like defeated, as far as making new music, I feel like with Jay, I'm gonna compare him to like an Andre 3000, and what I mean by that is like if he doesn't have to rap, he don't want to.
Right.
And I feel like I've heard that. I've been around camps, with Andre, that have told me like, yo, the most beautiful thing is like if he wants to rap because he wants to rap. Think about Hove. He raps when he wants to rap.
Right.
Because he's in a position to do that.
But at least he wants to quite frequently.
And wait, are you saying it's the Badu box? Because they both have that in common.
He's married.
He reminds me of.
I don't even know if he's with
Andre
that billionaire girl too. Still.
Oh, Kate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was just in Detroit. I saw Jay over the weekend, so I had a chance to hang out with him then. I don't know. Listen, to be honest, like I just let Jay do his thing.
No, of course.
I realized that like you can't force him. I can't be like, dude, you got to do this. You got to. It's gonna make him not do it even more.
I remember when the first time I met Jay may have been back 2009, and he came in. I was running a store down in Soho, and he came in with my man Frank Miller, who has RappersIKnow.com. And FWMJ, some people know him by. And he was wearing slippers, no socks, no nothing. Bunions, toes out, nails out. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, yo, Jay, you need a pair of kicks. And we wound up getting him something fresh. He was so reluctant, like, I don't know if I want a pair of sneakers. I'm like, yo, you're not buying a house. And we wound up getting him. And he never forgot. I was telling you earlier that I remember when I haven't seen him in years. And then A3C did a Pimp C tribute, and me and Bun were backstage getting ready to go. Bun was getting ready to go on, and Jay was hugging Bun, and he was like, "Oh shit, is that Premium P?" And he came over, and and we bullshitted for him, and we connected that whole weekend, and it was good to see him. And he was like, "Yo," he just from what he told me that time, he was like, "Yo, I'm tired of people asking me about music, man."
Yeah, he is.
But
he's an artist. That's what people ask him.
I know, it's kind of like,
You'll be tired when people don't ask you about music.
Exactly.
That's when you'll be like, damn it, somebody care.
But there's got to
care.
there's got to be a bigger reason. And at the end of the day, that's that man's reason. I know people are mad. People are almost treating Jay Electronica, putting out more music like Detox. Like, we'll get that, next generation, next lifetime.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I don't know. It's a sticky situation because it's like you're talking about an artist. And then you're like, why would you expect music from me? Because you're an artist, So you're right.
Job.
I guess. But anyway, I remember you mentioned when they did the Exhibit C, him and Just Blaze. Just says in the beginning, what does he say that?
Oh, at the end he says, morning after world premiere. That was my show on Sirius.
So I never put that together.
Yeah, I had told Jay, I said, go in the studio and do a song so I could premiere it on the morning show.
That's so dope.
Yeah, and they ended up doing Exhibit C. And I don't think he ever finished it, so the next morning I was supposed to premiere it and it wasn't done. And so I think a little bit later, Just Blaze just put it together and put it out. And that's, just randomly with Tony Touch at Sirius, just played it and it just took off.
Just Blaze to the rescue. I mean, that song...
He's like that, though. Remember he came in here and just started, like, banging out buttons, and he was like, I got this. It was like, okay.
Yeah, just on one of our episodes where Just came by, he took super long to get here, and then when he got here, I was looking for him outside, and he was already in here, and then when I came in, I was like, yo, we got to get the engineer. He's like, don't worry about it.
I got it.
I started the episode already.
I did it. I was like,
Yeah.
I love your different sitting stances.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
third.
for internets that don't know,
his box gets uncomfortable. He got to switch
well, you know what it is?
A few different ways.
Pussy. Got to adjust the puss.
Hey, hey, listen. When you're holding a package like mine, you can't just sit a certain way.
Yeah.
It gets uncomfortable.
A few different positions.
And no,
Ow.
internet. I sit. What do you call that? Indian style. Indian style. I may cross a leg. I may listen. I'm all over
Show
the
a
place.
thigh, sit on the sink. It's your boy Premium Pete.
With Jizza, how'd that happen?
I used to work for Wu Tang, so that
Okay.
was my first job.
That's right.
I worked there when I was in school, and then when I got out of school, that was my first job.
Wait, hold on. How did that even happen when you worked for Wu Tang?
Randomly, our boy Scotty, who owns Engine Room Audio,
Shout out to
is
Scotty.
how that happened. So Scotty was like, "Oh, I want you to go intern for my boy who works at Wu Tang Management." And I was like, okay. But they had such a reputation for being like wild and crazy. I didn't really want to do it. So
And you don't smoke weed, right?
No, I didn't
Not
even smoke
anymore.
weed.
I remember you saying one time, I think when we had you on the other show, I remember you saying that the place stunk of weed when you were there or something
I
like.
actually had to put signs up like no weed during business hours. They were like, "Who put these signs
They're
up?"
like,
I
what
was
hours
like,
are those? We in the late night hours.
How was ODB when did he ever stop by?
Yes, all the time.
Aw.
First of all,
Rest
ODB
in
used
peace.
to call there, and he would ask for me because I was the person that was like, I was assistant to the CEO.
Okay.
So I had everybody's checkbooks up there, right? So his baby mamas used to call me all the time and be like, "I need a check. Dirty told me to call you to get a check." And I'm like, I can't just write a check. The checkbooks are here, but I can't sign the check for you, you know? So he would just direct everybody
Dirty.
to me.
Dirty told me to get on your chat.
Yeah, it
Child
would really
support.
be like that. So he would call the office, right, and tell me, "I need some petty cash." And I'd be like, "We don't have petty cash here laying around. I don't know what you think this is." So then he would curse me out and hang up. Then he would call back, and I wouldn't answer the phone. They'd be like, "Angela, Dirty wants to talk to you." And I'd be like, "Nope, not answering, not answering." Then he would call back. Then he would change his name. And I would get on the phone. And
It's
he
like
would
what?
say-
What did he just?
just
Robert
give a fake
Hounson.
name, and he would be like, "I'm sorry, my little princess. I did not mean to
Aw.
yell at you like that." I think Dirty was really a funny person. He
Big
told
baby Jesus.
the best stories, great personality. He really liked attention.
Yeah, I remember when he was on TRL and somebody called in and they were like, "Yo, now that you're like a celebrity," there was a couple other people that were like, "What are you gonna do like to give back?" He's like, "Nothing." He's like, "But I'll give you a shout out." Yo, ODB. I'll tell you one thing. I don't think there has been somebody who kept it as real as ODB did.
I do feel like honored to know him and to have met him and been around him. I remember we did this. I think I have this video footage at home somewhere. Jizza was doing a video shoot and Dirty was on the hook. And we didn't think he was going to show up because he didn't show up to his own video shoot the day before. But he showed up to Jizza's video shoot.
He knew better.
He was in it and everything. And the only reason they couldn't put the video out was because Sylvia Rowan, his label, would not clear it because they were mad that he didn't go to his own video.
That's whack.
So they were like, no.
They was on a petty cash.
Yeah, so.
What about out of all the Wu members? I mean, who is some like that you built the best relationship with?
Obviously, Jizza was, my guy, Ghostface. I love Ghost. I love Raekwon. Me and Raekwon are really cool.
Raekwon is like he's just full out of a wisdom. Every time I see him, like he's just really a good, heartfelt, like
He's the nicest person.
Yeah.
Like if you see him, he's super cool. Ray and Ghost still hang out together all the time. I actually did something with them in Fort Lauderdale like not too long ago. So I still talk to them and obviously Method Man. I remember when I first met Method Man, I did not like him. I thought he was so rude. But it's him joking and I didn't get it because when I first met him, I was like, what is his problem? Like, because he would just talk crazy to you, but it's just Method Man like being jokey, so.
You didn't get his sense of humor.
Yeah, because he would, I'm trying to remember what he used to do, and I used to be like, what is wrong with him? And then one of the other people that worked there were like, that just means he's cool with you if he talks to you like that.
Maybe he had a little crush.
No, it wasn't that. I can't even remember what he did, but I remember not realizing at that time how huge Method Man was. And one day he came in the office, and the office was on 12th Street and University, and he was like, hey, welcome me to the bank. And I'm like, all right. He was like, well, maybe we should call a cab. It was only 3 blocks away. I was like, dude, you could walk 3 blocks. But when I tell you it took an hour because everybody was stopping him on the street, I didn't realize like Method Man was huge at the time. Like,
you got to see that in person.
everybody knew him. So I'm just thinking we could walk 3 blocks, no big deal. But I was so irritated. I was just standing there while he was stopping and everybody was taking pictures. But he enjoyed it. Like he always enjoyed people just knowing him and showing him love.
So how did you get out of the management? Like, you did Jizza, you did Jay Electronica. How did you get out of the management? Like,
I have to manage myself.
Yeah.
And so people would ask me, and I'm like, I can't do it because I'm so busy like handling my own business that it's hard for me to. I think when you manage somebody, you have to really be committed to saying, this is more important than anything else I have going on.
Sure.
You have to be like, I will drop whatever I have to do and drive to Atlanta to pick up a thumb drive for you and drive back if I need to. That's management. That's you saying, anything you need, I'm going to get it done and figure it out.
Right.
I can't do that because I have so much stuff I need to do for myself. I don't have the time to dedicate to somebody else's career. So I had to be realistic in saying, while I might think you're great and I would love to work with you, I really don't have enough time.
And it's an uphill climb. It's like, it's a process. It's not like people start off in their school to run. You know what I mean? Like it's a process, and there's a lot of time money doesn't come in for a minute. But you actually introduced Jay Electronica to Jay-Z, right?
Oh, I was at Julie Greenwald's birthday dinner at the Spotted Pig. And Jay-Z was there. And when I saw him, I was like, Jay Electronica was a couple blocks away. It was my brother's birthday, and he was out with my brother. So we were in the meatpacking district. So I saw Jay-Z, and I was like, oh, shit, I'm going to go get Jay Electronica, and I'm going to make him come here because I think it'd be good for them to meet each other. Somehow, some way, something could happen. So I called Jay Electronica. I'm like, okay, you got to come here. Jay-Z's here. He's like, no, I look a mess. I was like, you always look a mess. I was like, that's you. That's your thing. Embrace it, So I go get him because he wasn't going to just come. So I go to where they are. I walk there because it was only a few blocks away. I go get him like, come on, we got to go. We got to go. So I bring him over there, walk him in, introduce him to Julie Greenwald. And then he goes over and starts talking to Jay-Z. And I just, stood back and let them have their whole conversation. And then he sent Jay-Z a track, and Jay-Z put a verse on it and sent it right back like 2 days later.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Did Jay ever say anything to you? Jay-Z say anything to you have you seen him over the time? He say about thank you for introducing him because he did sign him to Rock Nation.
Yeah,
regardless.
he did actually, and a lot of people were trying to sign him at that time, and he ended up going with Jay-Z because that's obviously a big deal. Like,
Did they send you a bottle of Haze or anything?
Hell no.
Really? They only sent Charlamagne this shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, I didn't get anything. But I don't do stuff because I want to get something out of it. Like I said, me at that time, I was just really trying to be helpful, like to him because I felt like he deserved it, and I still feel like he does. So Jay Electronica still calls me like, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I still help.
That crazy fuck. But that's the kind of person you are. You like, to me, honestly, you always come off, you're like a sister. Right. You come off as somebody who has your best interest in mind, and you're like, yo, you know what? And that's why I told you, you managing, even though you got to worry about your own career, probably would allow someone like Jay Electronica to do more because he probably trusts you more because he's like, yo, you know what? This ain't one of my, guys that are telling me to do some fuck shit.
Right.
People always weary about that, and I feel like, that's a good thing. But you know what? Do your parents even know what the fuck you do?
Yeah, they know.
No, I know they hear you on the radio, but do they know what you do?
Why he acting like her parents like, oh, Daniel's son, what does Angela, what does she do?
Who Jizza? Who Jizza?
Keisha, what does that daughter do?
Actually, is that your father on the Jizza?
No.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
You know what's funny? My dad, he won't know who people are, but my dad manages a dentist's office. My uncle's a dentist, right? So I bought Jay Electronica there because I don't think he ever been to the dentist. My dad was
He should have went to jail to get his teeth fixed.
My dad was like, what the fuck? What's wrong with your teeth? But no, my parents, the only thing I hate is that my dad Googles me. And I'm like, don't do that.
Oh my God.
It's not going to be positive.
It's great that you said that,
don't
Angela.
Don't Google me. I don't care. I don't Google me. And I tell my dad, don't you Google me because
Google
you're not going to see nothing good. Yeah.
You saying that is a great segue. I know you said you hate it, but I want to play a game with you called Believe It or Not.
Really?
Okay.
Yes.
Is that like Ripley's?
Kind of like Ripley's, but
Okay.
I like to play with the words, and I figured I did exactly like your dad.
Okay.
I Googled you.
Oh, Lord.
Things popped up. So I just want you to tell the audience
She said, oh, Lord.
what's true and what's not true.
Okay.
I mean, and if you pass, you got to take a shot.
Of wine?
You're going to have to drink the
Oh,
whole
you gotta
cup, though.
finish. You
You know,
have to
you got
finish
those
it.
Henny,
Shot of
them
wine.
Henny livers. So we want to make sure that you get all drunk. But yeah, so let's do
Okay.
it. So our first one is you and Trey Songz have relations either having going right now or around January. That's what was popping off.
100% definitely not.
That would be good, though.
That would be cute.
Ooh.
You could be a good mustache.
No.
Imagine him singing to you.
No?
I don't barely ever even see Trey Songz unless I see him like at a club or something. So
Okay.
no, we
they
don't
was
talk.
linking you because even Fab kind of like spilled a little tea.
I'm gonna tell you the truth about that. Is
Okay.
that they had a dinner for Trey Songz, and everybody, like his management, whatever, called and invited me. It was a whole bunch of people there. Kaiser was there, the label. So I stopped by the dinner, and when I was there, I went to say goodbye because I had to leave, and I gave Trey a hug, and he pulled me onto his lap, and Fab snapped a picture. So that's his way of like making a joke. Cause
And when
he's
he
always
came
like, I have
down-
that picture of
When he was on the show, he also said a little thing, right? When he was on Breakfast Club, he like slid it in. Don't try to
sliding.
He was like,
Whoa,
me
whoa,
and
what
Angela's
the
having
fuck?
sex.
I think he was kidding.
I know, but you
But
know
I
how
think,
you
you
ever
some-
seen How to Be a Player when he was like, he was joking, but he was telling the truth? That wasn't like one of those truths.
I think the idea of it is probably
I'm
fun
here for it. That's why
Yo.
for people to
team
listen
that.
to, but
Well, okay, no Trey Songz in it.
Okay.
But actually, one second. On a side note, I on a side note,
You
I
got
gotta
some
know.
tea?
No. It's funny because I did take a picture of this when I said we're gonna have Angela Yon. I was like, let me take a picture of
So
this.
while you look for it, you have
No,
over
I haven't.
2,000 pairs of shoes?
2,000?
Yeah, that's what...
I don't think so. No,
No?
I don't have over 2,000.
She does have a lot of shoes. Let me tell you something. Every time I see her, she has some crazy either, whether it be boots, shoes, platforms, sneakers.
She hates my
listen.
shoes today.
Yeah, I don't like her shoes
I
today.
know
They
he
look like
hates
some
them.
I
paper
think
mache
they're
shit.
fun.
They're just fun.
Internet, we'll put a picture
I
out.
conversational
I bought
pieces.
these one day because my shoes were hurting my feet, and I went into Intermix and just bought these
I think they're cute.
because I wanted sneakers, and I was just like, whatever.
Are you more of a tomboy or are you the girly girl?
Probably a tomboy.
Yeah, but when you dress up like that, that's one thing I do, and I'm not just saying this because you're here, but that's one thing I do admire about you. Obviously, you are pretty, but the thing is that like when you could dress down like homegirl status, and then there's times I've seen you put on a dress and you crush it, like you look more elegant, So
Yeah,
you have two ways
look
to you.
more elegant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
no, you do.
Thank you.
I'm
I
here
appreciate
for it.
I prefer a hoodie.
You and Erica Mena have unresolved issues.
What the fuck is going on?
I don't even know this girl. I think she just was, beefing with me because
She needed a little attention.
the whole situation with one of my co-hosts and whatever. So
You
but-
can't trust her though because even now she's like talking ish about her ex-fiance, the artist formerly known as Bow Wow.
Listen, I don't know the girl. I don't care to know her. I'm loyal to the people I'm loyal to.
These
and
hoes ain't loyal.
I could care less. Like
Okay.
nothing. It doesn't affect my life.
What else? What
But
else?
you
we got?
getting this money because your net worth is $2 million
$2
and your
million?
salary
What the fuck?
is $600,000. Can I borrow $20?
Net worth. Okay, I'm gonna say this.
Get it, girl. You better talk that mogul talk. She about to get Khaled on us.
My house in Brooklyn that I bought is worth probably like about $400,000 more than what I paid for it.
Okay.
Which is good. So that probably figures into that. Plus, I bought 3 houses in Detroit.
And on a side note, I'm so proud of you because I remember you telling me I think about a year ago that you bought your father. No, you bought your
my
father a car.
Yeah.
And I love that you did that because you surprised him. He had no idea.
He didn't know. He thought he was test driving it.
Yeah, and then you told him it was his, and that was dope.
And I bought it outright, so he didn't have to make payments or anything. So he was
You're
like,
a good daughter. You're the favorite immediately.
for that day, because I was tired. He had like masking tape holding his car together. It was bad.
Wait, is
My dad is cheap.
Yo, what's his sign?
He's a Capricorn also.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
super
yeah, I
cheap.
know how to-
And I was
yeah.
like, I'm gonna get my dad a brand new car. I don't know when he's had a brand new car.
Hey, listen, the Chinese, some of them are like soldiers, man. I respect them. They're like, well, put a masking tape here, no problem.
No,
you
he
know?
had tape
That's
all over
black.
it. It was my uncle's old Volvo.
Listen, Volvos
really
don't break
bad.
down. Those things are metal like a motherfucker.
Well, listen, it was a mess. I was like, you cannot be driving this. It's embarrassing.
But
Listen.
Talking about you, my
but you
dad.
know what? As you're saying that with salary, not that I want to know your salary. That may be too much information. But
I just slid you like a salary type of thing. I slid her a paper. According to Google, that's your age.
Okay, yep.
Yes? Yes, girl. I'm here for it. I ain't need everybody in your business. But,
I like that she slid a piece of paper.
yeah, because we was talking about negotiations. And everybody don't need to know everything.
no, what I want to know is this though: when you started with Breakfast Club, right, and you had a salary, how did you obviously got a raise, right?
Yep.
And did you shoot for double, triple?
He
How
always
does
want to know people money.
No. I want to know because those decision makes. Like I feel like you basically whatever you could go in and get is what you're worth. I feel like people have to fight, like you have to push for what you want, and it's not easy. And even like me, I feel like over the years, like if I take a certain amount of money and I start low, it's so hard to go higher.
That's true.
Yeah, but I think, first of all, I'm going to tell you this, and Miss Lissa knows in particular, women don't ask for raises enough. And a lot of times,
I need you in my life, Angela. Can we just be like the preacher's wife?
And a lot of times we need to go in there and say, okay, not I need a raise, but I deserve a raise. And it's very important to do that sometimes. A lot of people in general don't do that, but women more than men.
Because we don't know how to,
won't do that.
How do we do it?
Because we feel like people are going to come to us and be like, okay, it's that time of the year. You're going to get your 1% raise.
Yeah, 1% raise, yeah.
Right. No, you have to say, hey, so I started here, and when I first started, and when I went to Sirius, I'm not going to lie, I was only making $50,000 when I first started, and then I ended up, after the first year, getting a $10,000 bonus and a $20,000 raise, because I went in there and asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in there and I said, listen, when I first started, I never did radio before. I feel like through this past year, I've actually grown a lot. I learned a lot. I've done a lot. Here's what I've done. Here's a whole stack of articles that were written online about me. Here's other things I've had done. Here's what else besides outside of what I'm required to do I've been doing. And I feel like I deserve a raise because of this. If there's other things that you feel like I should be doing that can help me get more money, I'm down to do that. Just let me know.
So you're telling girls...
What's the time frame in which... You're not a girl, don't do this. What's the time frame
but you're sitting like
which...
Would you stop?
Angie! Can I call you Angie? Yes! Angela Yee. Ask Yee. She knows. Is there like what's the time frame you should
I did
give?
it in a year.
Okay.
After the first year, because I was like, I'm going to grind it out with this little bit of money for a year, but after that, I got to get
What, do you sign a contract?
Money.
Was it like a 1 year?
No, I didn't have a contract.
You don't have a contract?
Did you kind of like research
no,
other
now
people?
I do, but at Sirius I didn't.
Did you research other people in that position to kind of get a figure, or did you just say,
no, I just
want
went
this?
for it. Yeah.
Okay.
I just went for it, but I did start off so low. So for them,
in Sirius you're talking about, or Breakfast Club?
At Sirius, that's a significant raise. Now at the Breakfast Club, when I first started, I had a job, so for them to get me to leave my job, you have to offer a little something.
So say if you were making 100, they had to give you 200.
Right. Exactly.
But how long and then you signed a contract with them?
Yeah,
like
signed a contract.
2 years?
It's 2 years with an optional third when we first started. And then by the time it was time to renegotiate, though, we had a weekend show. And then, so that was negotiated into that. And then, you get more money. And I was pretty good. Like, first of all, you don't never negotiate yourself. It should not
so you
be
bring
them
in someone
to you. You have to have somebody negotiate for you.
Who
Whether it's a lawyer or somebody who that's their specialty, like in radio. At that time, I had somebody that was a lawyer do it, but now I have somebody who's a radio agent that actually is well versed in.
How much they take? 10%?
No, definitely not that much.
5%?
She can't be dropping the lingo. She's
no.
She negotiates her
But I
numbers.
must say this. It's worth it for you to pay somebody to get you more money than you could have got for yourself.
Sure, I agree with that. And because you know why? And you know what? You couldn't have said that better. Because we're scared as people to literally...
You don't want to give up no money.
Yeah, no, but keep in mind...
Angela, can you please keep preaching to the choir?
No, but keep in mind, if you have a salary, right? Keep in mind, listen, right? If you have a salary... And then you obviously want to move to another job.
Right.
I always tell people go double, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes you feel like if you go double and a half, you're like, I don't know. I don't want to blow them, pause, but like, I don't want to blow them out of the box. I don't want them to like, maybe not, somebody else may say like, yo, we're going to go double, triple, and they may be willing to get it. You think about it so much, you wind up underselling yourself. You don't think that?
Well, I think that, you should ask for what you really think. You should ask for above what you think you can get.
Mm-hmm. My mother always taught me that.
That way you negotiate down because they're going to offer you less. So somehow you have to get to the point you want to be at.
So you re-signed your contract in Breakfast Club. Mm-hmm. You asked for double?
The way that this works is that we have all kinds of bonuses also. It's hard to say exactly what we're going to get because there's bonuses and then we get money for our different markets that we're in. So for syndication. And then we get money for Revolt. Also, that's included.
How long have they been partners?
Like a year?
I think it's been
more
2
than
years.
Oh.
And obviously everyone gets different salaries.
I was hoping it was the same. I was hoping that, okay, so in my anointed imagination, because there's two type of contracts when it comes to like this type of thing. Mm-hmm. You have the Sex in the City, because remember Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica didn't like each other because Sarah was getting more.
Yeah,
or you
Sarah
have
also
friends.
was like her show.
But or you,
Fuck Sarah.
yeah, but it was, but we needed Samantha, like,
Yeah,
girl,
yeah,
if
we
not-
did,
you
we
know. So, or you have friends where it's like they all joined together and said, "Hey, we want to get equals rate." So, in my anointed imagination, you guys, it's even keel aside from the little side gigs, like
Right.
like
Yeah, we're all pretty even.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just that, you know what, our contracts are all up at different times.
Dan, years ago, I remember
Yeah.
when
Okay.
I remember when Envy left Hot 97. I remember them saying
You
that
gotta
like
say the other station. What are you? We
no,
beeping that.
it doesn't matter. Who gives a fuck?
93.23.
No, but I remember when he left. I remember them saying like that they came to him with this Breakfast Club. Like he's almost like the point man for Breakfast Club. Is that true?
Well, he was at Power before us.
Okay.
So because of that, for him to leave the slot that he had to come to mornings, and I think he had like a whack deal when he first got there.
Mm-hmm.
So he was able to be like, this is what I, whatever, because he was already
Yeah, more
there.
leverage.
Right. And then for me, I think they had to woo me away from Sirius in their head. So, they offered me what they offered me.
Hey, listen, it's
And Charlamagne had just got kicked off of Wendy, so he was good.
Charlamagne was unemployed at the time.
Remember?
He was at home like, please,
He was like, oh
please,
my God. When is he the one started up the ball. Like, I think Angela.
he's another one I'm
Envy.
proud of though because it's people it's about progression and seeing people. It's people should applaud people who have grown.
Most definitely.
And I'm proud to see your growth, and it's just like I'm proud to see his growth.
I'm proud to see your growth. And for me, what's really so dope is the fact that I never feel like you compromise who you are or like be uber sexual. Like you just are who you are,
right.
And genuine. Like you said, you don't talk shit. It's always just facts. Like it just is what it is with you. And that is what I've always respected. And just having conversations and getting to know you. Every time I leave you, I have something new that's just embedded in my head that I'm just like, you know what? I want to do better. I want to be better. Because, like, you are, like, a hard worker.
Because it's always a pleasure to run into you when I see
you.
Thank
you.
Oh, what are you going to kiss each other? Listen, this is like, you know what, Angela, you have become, I guess, inspiring for a lot of women. I've seen that around the Engine Room studios. And I guess people look to you, we don't ask for it as people who, and what I mean by that is people who, whatever you do things. Whatever you do sometimes inspires people.
Right.
No matter what it is, whether you're on the Breakfast Club, whether you started your own podcast, or whether you open up a business, whatever you do, you inspire people. And it's good for, I think, especially women to learn more and see more. I want to see more women have more, just being equal, especially in the workforce. I remember years ago you tell me you worked, I think, in a record label where the guy was like a sexist.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's all of the
Where
record
was
label
that?
guys.
It's terrible. It was at this record label called Chief. It was when I worked for D'Angelo's label. It had nothing to do with D'Angelo, but it was the people that ran his label at Virgin.
They's walking in greased up. How does it feel?
See,
It wasn't D'Angelo, though. He had no idea.
Actually, you know what? Now I found the thing I was talking about. Tell me if this is true or not, because now you made me do my goddamn research.
I did it.
Some guy was saying that I don't know what the hell is. Who was the guy that claimed that he messed with you and then he came out, or some guy?
And then he came out.
Then he came out?
Said that some slave confession. You heard about this?
Oh, that was on Baller
Is this
Alert.
true?
Yes,
Tell
I have
the
a
truth.
slave in my basement.
No, I don't mean slave. I'm talking about the guy. Because listen.
It's a great story, though.
Listen to what this guy says. Right? This guy says, he says, little half black, half Asian stunner, Angela Yee. He claims her vagina is very wet. Well, salute to it not being dry.
Yeah, thank you.
He also says it's deep and it tastes like water.
Al, girl, you healthy. That's all them juices
Now
from
let me
your,
ask you
your
something.
new bar.
Does it taste like Fiji, Smart Water?
Or does it taste like the green juices at your spot?
I would think smart water. You
Okay.
know?
Okay.
Got electrolytes in
Hot water.
her juice.
Listen,
My
he
water's
also enjoyed drinking her juices and also claims she's a freak. Once again, all very, very believable.
I kind of believe that you're a freak.
Okay.
Like undercover, which I love. I love the undercover freak. Like I'm all here for female empowerment and yes, like do your thing and be sexual and yes. But I feel like it's something about the girl who has the hidden freak. Is something just special
I just believe
about
in
that.
whatever you do, just do it really well.
But I don't feel like you gotta boast about it and tell about it. You know, it's one thing when it's like a female forum where it's just like, yes, like we all do it. And it's another thing when you're just volunteering things or like social media or just like throwing things out that nobody asks. Like bitches are just at the water cooler and you start talking about your damn vagina. Like just certain things are like, why?
Well, I mean, I agree. But also, he didn't stop this guy.
Oh, he was okay. He got more.
He said he goes on to claim Yee is a very dominant woman. You dominant bastard, you.
That could be true.
The type to demand her man goes down on her. How dare you? How dare you
I should
demand
never
that?
have to demand that.
How dare you?
Like, who demands that? You should do that.
You gotta do it.
Yeah.
I feel
like
like
here.
Yeah, like I feel like it should just be even keel.
That's probably
you want it or you want it, you gotta give it.
It's funny because it's like at first they say that
but
you
some
didn't.
girls just like giving it and you don't have to. Like,
They say-
you know,
They say at first you
Have
denied
those
the
moments.
rumors.
have an oral transaction.
Listen, I think it's a great story. To be honest, actually, my friend contacted me before they posted it. Like, do you mind? Because this is a funny one. And I was like, go ahead. I don't care.
That's one thing I do like about you. Like, you don't mind. Because me, I'm so sensitive. I'll be like, bitch, no, but thank you for asking. Hell no.
Yeah, but as
Hell
more
no.
popular as you get, more people are going to make shit up about you,
And I
not
guess
like
what's
you.
true doesn't have to be explained.
But
Like,
this
she
is
knew
what
it
I
wasn't
think.
true.
I think it's just all entertaining. Like, to me, I don't get offended by things, but I also don't chase it. Like, you know how some people send stories about themselves to the blogs, and I never really want to be on the blogs, but when it happens, I don't get mad because I talk about people all the time. That's my job.
Yeah.
So for a blog, it's their job to write stuff too, whether or not it's true, whether or not they verify it. It just is what it is. If I have to do it, I can't be mad if you do it.
I mean, yeah, and be honest with you, I rather know that your pussy, respect
It's
your
listen,
pussy.
at least this
No,
story
hold on,
wasn't
respect your pussy,
terrible.
respect your pussy. But I rather know that it tastes something better than water. I would say Kool-Aid or maybe a grape soda or
Grape soda?
or
I don't want somebody who.
why's it got to
I
say
don't-
what the
that means
fuck
she's
tastes like
pure
water?
and fresh.
Chicken
That,
and waffles.
yeah, you don't want.
Yeah, I would love that. I mean, shout out to your boyfriend, no disrespect, but chicken and waffles.
No, thank you for.
I'll be down
segueing.
there with a bib.
How are you maintaining this secrecy with this relationship? Because I feel like that's the key in this new day and age. But how do you do it?
I just don't post about it, but I'm always out and about.
Are you
Like,
out?
I don't hide it.
Oh,
I just
y'all
don't
hold hands and everything.
post it. Yeah.
Oh,
So if you see
where you
us,
at? You said you gonna be in. Where you gonna be this weekend?
I will be in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte
and then
people,
Boston.
y'all already know when y'all see Angela out with Bay, just DM me. I just want to know. I'm so nosy. I'm sorry, Angela. I don't mean to be like that all in your business, but you said you talk about people too.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that though? Like talking about somebody and then seeing them. Like, is it ever weird?
No, because if I'm talking about it, everybody is.
Right.
If it's on the blogs, you should expect it. Like,
So you're not
you
mad
should
at me
know.
that I want to know what he looked like? Because, I'm just like, I'm
No.
intrigued.
I'll show you a picture.
All
okay?
right. Thank you.
All right, you'll find out afterwards. You know what? Let's take a break. Let's come back with I Don't Trust People, and let's close up the show.
Okay.
Internet, you're sitting here with Miss Lissa.
AKA Beyonce and my girl Lucy Liu, AKA Angela Lee.
Don't go
on
nowhere.
The Premium P Show.
Don't go nowhere. We'll be right
You
back.
stay right here.
Cheer, cheer.
Uh-huh.
Ow. Internet, this episode is brought to you by the College of Hip Hop. Listen, this app is dope. I fuck with it. I fuck with the dudes who made it, young entrepreneurs.
How much does the app cost?
Free 99.
Nothing? So for nothing, all I have to do is go to my app store or my Play Store if I have an Android, and I'm kind of corny, and I can get this app for free, and it can help me elevate my music brand, whether you are a producer, rapper, or engineer.
Imagineer.
Imagineer?
No, you're a manager. Imagine that. No, but listen to me. Let me tell you about that. This is the first and only entertainment education app found in the app stores out of 1 billion apps.
So get off the corners, rappers. Nobody wants your signed CD. Get this app and change your lane.
Listen, download the College of Hip Hop app today. It's available across all platforms. The College of Hip Hop app features a resource guide with helpful links to publishing forms, contracts, and a lot more helpful items. It helps you learn a couple of things. One thing I really enjoy is people who know about the business before they get into business.
Get it.
You don't want to get a fucked up contract. You don't want to get a fucked up publishing deal. This is the College of Hip Hop app. Download that shit. Now let's get back to the show.
Ow. And we're back, Internet. It's your girl, Miss Lissa Knows, sitting here on the Premium P Show, and the lovely Angela
She's
Yee.
with us. She's with us
been
in the
dropping
building.
so many gems. Like, I'm on an all-time high because I feel like you're like Aliala. What's her name from OWN Network? Iliali? You're her. You
Same
just changed
shit.
my life.
Well, I
But
hope so.
Internet, change your life. It's time for I Don't Trust People.
Internet, listen, Angela, if you don't know, before we started the Premium P Show, I always tweeted with a hashtag I don't trust people.
Right.
Because I don't trust a lot of
know you
people.
don't.
I don't trust. So listen, Internet, you know how to get involved. Use hashtag I don't trust people. That's I don't trust PPL. Let us know who you don't trust, what you don't trust, and if it's a good I don't trust people tweet, then we're gonna put it on the show. What do we got this week?
levitating?
What? What happened?
Are you levitating right now?
Yo,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm off
telling
the
you. He's a different kind of Buddhist. So our first submission comes from Mo Speak Truth. I don't trust people who don't turn on their red message receipts on their iPhone. Man up, girl.
Nope.
Yeah, that's me. I don't do
I don't
that.
know
I don't
red
do that.
messages.
I have mine on.
I don't want people to see that I read it.
Exactly.
Hold up, I'll get
Or
back
that
to you,
I didn't read
motherfucker.
it.
But even if you like, first of all, if it's after like 20 minutes, I'm like, I know you saw it. And that's why you purposely have to make it long enough where they have to open it to get the rest. Like, you don't want to be like, yeah, girl, meet me there. Because
Right.
they can just look at their phone and see. You got to be like, yeah, girl, meet me there. It's on the corner of 34th and 9th, and I need you to be there by 12. So she's like, oh, I have to open it.
Well, I definitely don't have my red message.
Because you're a celebrity. It's different.
No.
You're a
And I also,
celebrity.
I don't have the message pop up on my screen.
Oh,
either.
Bay's a little crazy?
Yeah.
What's his
Yeah.
sign?
No, I just don't do that because I don't want anybody to see what's going on.
He's
I
Sagittarius.
have mine pop up, but I just have it say iMessage. I don't have it say
Right.
like the rest of...
Yeah, because then
So
people
you don't
will
have
read
yours
that.
pop up either.
Because I almost got caught out one time, and it wasn't even nobody crazy, but I was just like, damn, I don't want nobody seeing that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
You write crazy stuff.
yeah.
Could have been.
You
Could
still
have been
with
like.
that bitch or she
Yeah.
left?
You want this dick, Miss Wissa?
Yo, that's mad
What's the next
funny.
one?
Our next one comes from The Cure podcast. I don't trust people who think Michelle really played an important part in Destiny's Child. Ooh, shade. I mean, I felt the same way. Like, she definitely was just a placeholder. I've always felt, I mean, you're talented, Michelle, and I know Angela's going to keep it clean and she's not going to say anything. But I am. We never needed you. Like,
really?
Beyonce, no, for real. Beyonce and Kelly could have just been the new changing faces. They could have been a duo. That would have been the hottest shit ever. Like, we didn't.
Although I did like her on the song "Girl." Remember that song, "Girl"?
No,
That's
she
my
was
song.
just.
I remember.
I mean, she only.
did good on that.
She does have the memorable part of that song. She
Yeah,
does.
she did
like,
good.
what you mean?
I
you
still
don't
fuck
need
the
us
shit
to
out of
have-
Michelle. Stop hating on her.
You because you've done worse.
Fuck
but we
outta
know.
here.
Did she sing on "Emotions" too? Wasn't
She sung on everything after
That was
Beyonce
good.
kicked those other girls off.
I'm not gonna lie.
But
she
Michelle's
was not bad
sexy.
at
See,
Michelle.
that's the thing. People
That was
hate.
like a like strategic move on their part. Like every song after they kicked off the La girls, the Latavia and Latavia girl, they had
The La girls.
The La girls. They had Michelle. She was on Survivor. She was on Girl. She was on Bootylicious. She always had a part.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I want to let you know. Most people look at Michelle and they push her to the side. It's like the girl who, like, and I remember being in school back in the day or just in the neighborhood. You'll find a girl that most people, maybe she didn't look up to par as everybody else did. And nobody was really fucking with her like that.
Right.
But when you fuck with her like that, you're like, holy shit, this girl got some bomb pussy.
Like I said,
Yo.
she can sing. But I just feel
And
like
then she also bought that church vibe.
I was just about to say, and that's why she had her own segue into gospel.
Shout out to
the
Michelle.
gospel.
Shout out to
Shout out
Michelle.
to you. Yes, girl, but he's right. I'm here for it. And our next one is I Am Shonston. I don't trust people that still listen to the radio in 2016.
Holy
I
shit.
can't say no that because I listen to the radio. Hello.
Hey.
I listen to the Breakfast Club. I'm not even gonna lie. I even I'll tweet sometimes like, "Hey, like I'm listening." Cause
And I listen to radio when I go into other markets just to hear what's going
Sure,
on.
you want to hear what's
Yeah.
going on.
That's just me though.
You know what? As much as I'll say, obviously, from being someone who started early in the podcast game, and I think podcast is the future radio. But keep in mind, I will say this. I'm not saying this because you're here. I mean, I know you know me. I'm no filter.
We know.
Radio is still important. I mean, people listen in cars. Like, it's almost to me like sneakers. Like, I think people think like sneakerheads are everybody. Sneakerheads are a small part of the community.
Right.
Like, people wear sneakers all over the world. Why? Because they just don't walk around barefoot.
I mean, radio is good, but I just feel like everything is oversaturated, and you'll go from one station to the next, and it's kind of like a repetition.
Right.
There's
There's certain songs that are in heavy rotation.
But that's why I do enjoy talk radio. That will forever be still in style.
Right.
Our last one is from.
Who the fuck is it from?
It's from Sold the God. I don't trust people that pick the urinal right next to the one I'm at when there are plenty to choose from.
Okay, I never use a urinal.
I've never either.
Well, I'm a guy, and I hate that shit. I hate
bet.
that shit.
But
Like,
I
It's
do
like people
hate.
sitting next to you on the train when there's plenty of other seats
it's
everywhere.
Or in the gym, like when they come on the elliptical right
Right
like,
next to you,
bitch,
and you're like,
there's
hello.
20 more. Like, why? And I'm sweating differently, and I just want to be by myself.
And
But
then you're looking at the corner of your eye like,
I put them on Snap. I just go on Snap and just start Khaled in them. Like, look, mogul talk.
Khaled.
Who is this?
But it's almost like parking. Like, even like moving, like, I grew up in Brooklyn all my life. Now I live in Jersey. I know that you did the same thing, right? Yo, in Jersey, you pull into these plazas. Like, I purposely park in a spot where there's no cars. And just because I don't want no one to come and open the door and hit my shit, somebody pull right up next to me.
Right.
Like, get the fuck out of here. There's
It's
no
because
spots.
people, like, everyone follows the crowd. But even in the bathroom, like, I was in the gym and I came out the bathroom. I definitely dropped the kids off at the pool. I'm not even gonna lie. And all the other stalls were available. This bitch goes right in the one. I'm like, bitch.
The kids must smell good in the pool.
It's like, ow, I've been eating
But
kale.
I would say, and I don't like when you're doing that and someone comes in the bathroom and you're like, hurry up and leave so I could come out. Come out while theyey're there.
Or you don't want
and
it to
they're taking
bloop.
forever. They're putting on makeup. They're doing their
That
hair.
always
And you're like,
happens.
oh my God, now I've been in here way too long and now I can't come out.
Yeah, that's when it's touching cotton. You gotta push it back up, you know? But I'll be honest with you.
We call that groundhogging.
Really? Shit, I learn something new every day.
Comes
Thank
out
you.
and then you suck
Thank
it
you,
back
Miss Yee.
in.
I call it prairie dogging, but I like groundhogging.
Yo, but when I'm in
the shadow.
Yes.
when I'm in a urinal and a guy comes like on the right and is like, man, yo, honestly, I start putting like I had to put my hip up on the side. Like, what the
And you
fuck,
know you
man?
could do it. One leg up. He probably
Yeah.
pees and
I pee
doodles
like
with
that,
his legs
motherfucker.
up.
You know? I don't like anybody come like, I'm like, what are you looking at my dick? What the
What if
fuck?
he looks and he's like, what kind of boxes are those?
No. Get the fuck out of here. I'll be honest with you. Like, there's certain things. Like, here's the thing. Like, like, whatever you do, I say this all the time on the show. Whatever you are, you know, if people are gay, it's 2016. That's what they do. I don't do that. But what I'm saying, don't bring that shit upon me. Like, you know, I had somebody, you know, come in the store one time while I was peeing and you know, look at me like, what the fuck
Like,
you
why is it
looking
so
at?
little?
Well,
Nothing wrong
really?
with testing it out, though, you know.
Hey, listen, you know.
But this
Doesn't hurt to
concludes
ask.
I Don't Trust People, and you guys can get involved. Hit us up on social media. Use the hashtag I Don't Trust PPL, and if it's popping, it's going to get dropping.
Angela, who you got to give one. Who don't you trust or what don't you
She
trust?
said she was on her bathroom stuff.
Oh. Let me see. What don't I trust? Man, I said my thing about the phone.
Yeah, and you also said, like, you don't...
I don't trust people who have their phone upside down.
Really?
Period.
Why? You think they're hiding something?
Why is your phone... Who sits with that? Do you sit like that at home? With your phone upside down?
That's a good point.
Why is your phone upside down? I don't trust people who have their phone upside down.
That's a good
That's
point.
a fact. And your screen gonna break.
Well, listen, internets. Not only can you catch Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club every morning, and probably how many? Where are you on 60? What'd you say?
65 or something
God
like that.
damn, yo! Honestly, I can't believe that it's 6 years that the Breakfast Club is going. Most morning shows don't last that long. You know?
They did tell me that when I left Sirius. They're like, it's not going to last long.
Yeah. Well, tell them you keep on going. You know. I see.
Do it.
I see he's going to at least 10. At least 10.
Do you feel like that? Like, is that what you want, or do you want to like branch out and kind of like do like your own show? Because I could see you. I'm telling you, you fixed my life. So I could see you with like a
Fix
talk
my
show, like you know,
I think I could do
like
both,
doing more
though.
visual.
I think I could do both.
You could, Capricorn.
Yeah, I
You're
think
not
I
going to
could
ever
do
get
both.
married or have them children you want to have, but you'll have 3 shows and
Those are my babies.
yeah,
a little baby
I'm
Yee.
married to work.
yeah. That's how Capricorn.
Now you also open up your own business with Styles P, a juice bar, and Envy.
Yes, we have a juice bar in Brooklyn. It should be
3
open next
partners?
week. Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, they already have some, but I am a strong believer in if you want to open a business, go to somebody who's already done it.
Sure.
And partner up.
Sure. You don't have to be
So it's
smart.
not
You have to
all
hire
on
smart
you,
people.
and make it more fun.
Now, where's this going to be, in the city?
It's in Brooklyn.
Okay,
in
nice.
West Side.
Nice. I'll be
On
there.
Malcolm X, Juices for Life. Look for us in
That's
Brooklyn.
dope.
277 Malcolm X Boulevard. We are hiring.
Really?
Sound like McDowell's.
Yeah, I know, right? And you also have the Lip Service podcast every week. When's
Yes.
that drop?
Fridays.
Gigi McGuire, like I said before, my homegirl Stephanie Santiago.
Yes,
you know?
yes. We actually have Black Youngster on this Friday.
That's
Okay,
dope.
Should be
nice.
entertaining.
Yeah,
So catch that tomorrow, internets.
I enjoy that talk that you know, like where it's like you get an artist, like, and that's what I like to do. Like, I don't want to compete like as like a hip hop podcast. Like we have multiple different people on, like
Right.
whether it be hip hop or just anything we love. Whether it be athlete or TV. And I like that. One thing I like about lip service is that you'll get somebody come on and have a different perspective of talk.
Right.
So I mean, sometimes too much talk for me. Like I don't want to know about booty shit.
You lying because you definitely did some premium lip service today.
Yes, you did.
I
We
did.
learned a lot.
About
Yes.
what? What did I say?
But you have
Don't worry, scroll
Hey, listen,
back.
your box tastes like
Boatload of
water, so your box tastes like water. So, what does your box taste like?
Mine tastes like coconut oil.
Really?
Okay.
Shit.
Nobody wants to drink oil, but that's
Shit, if I hang out with the both of you, I'm some healthy motherfucker.
You don't know because that's going to unclog your arteries.
coconut water.
There you go. I'm what's this, like half a bottle? Coconuts. It tastes like all types of coconut. Coconut now laters, coconut water, coconut oil.
Anyway, listen, internets, it was a great episode. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys. I had fun.
And I really, one thing I really liked is that we were talking about having more women on. You know, Miss Lissa was like, yo, I want to have more women on. And I agree with that. Just to, you know, even though we get sexy talk internets, but it's good to be empowered.
He's been trying to OD on me like every week. I'm so happy to have this.
No, it's good. It's good to be empowered.
Invite some of her friends.
It's good to be empowered. I think other women, you know, for me having a daughter, even though I talk crazy, I do, you know, like you do handle yourself well out here. And I think that you
Like a
are
G.
inspiration for other women and girls.
you.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean that.
Thanks to all the women out there.
Oh, please. Internets, we'll see you next episode. Angela Yee.
Ow.
Cheer. Cheer.